computer technology has been moving in a way that nothing else people have ever known.
Greetings, Special Centurions, and welcome, YouTube warriors, back to the succession of changing kings. Sebtonium, welcome to the stream, mate. Good to see you. How you doing? I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I've just got back from work, and I'm ready to dive in to another session of this awesome kingdom management simulation game. That being said, I have spent the last 4 days at work and the entire week streaming lots of demos, and I'm feeling pretty tired as it's Sunday evening, so I'm not sure how long this stream is going to be going for. I'm aiming to do a couple of hours, but I might just crash and burn at the 45-minute mark. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll try and get as many hours of this game as we can for you guys. Lance, how you doing, mate? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. You're doing alright, been busy all day, but guess who started streaming right when I finished? Is it me? Do I win a prize? Yay! Sebtonium, I appreciate you being here, mate. Welcome. Thank you for joining. It is me! Yay! Great. Let's dive into a new game and see if we can survive longer than a week. Because we didn't make congratulations. Don't be sarcastic, Sebtonium. No one likes a smart ass. Caesar, cocaine is a pretty good pick-me-up. You suddenly get energy. I don't want to become a crack addict, Lance. Or a cocaine addict. A cokehead. As important as you guys are to me, I'm not going to risk becoming a cokehead. You'll have to forgive me for that. You sound like you're speaking from experience as well. You're just like completely assured of yourself. Laughing my ass off. Be careful with that. Yes, sir, Sebtonium. Okay, let's start a new game. Let's dive in and see if we can live longer than a week.
of whom reigned for no more than 444 days. This was
Success
the
at any
exact
cost.
amount of time
Absolutely,
needed for
Lance.
each contender to complete the path to coronation, a peculiar tradition rooted in the sacred texts. This period became known as the succession of changing kings. A once prosperous kingdom had withered into a decaying
How's the
season.
sound, by the way, guys? Is it loud
Fields that
enough?
had yielded bountiful harvests were now overgrown with weeds. Trade caravans had all but vanished, and the finest of its people had abandoned their homeland in search of a better future. Few dared to hope that you, the last of an ancient dynasty, would succeed
Slightly
in
quiet.
breaking this vicious cycle.
Okay,
The
I'll
wise
increase
patriarch
it
went
after
to
the
throne of light to pray for you.
after the
Before
cutscene.
leaving, the patriarch vowed to return in exactly 444 days to preside over your coronation. Until then, you will remain a Dauphin.
Okay, no worries,
Mere
guys. I'll
shadow of a
I'll
future
up the
king.
volume in a
As
moment.
you ascended the throne, the sky above the castle was gray and gloomy. Doubt swirled around you, denser than the clouds overhead. But somewhere in the depth of your mind, a thought flickered. Your fate has not been sealed yet. Time loomed over you like an unrelenting weight, but one chance remained. The only chance to prove that you were more than just another failure on the throne, to show that you were the one who could restore the light and glory of the
Nope, no. Thus far, we've only been another
Break
failure on the
succession of
throne.
Changing kings at any cost. Survive to be crowned king.
Survive to be crowned king, chat. We didn't survive it past the week last time. Right, let me just change the sound quickly for you guys. Let's just increase that to that. There we go. How's that? Does that sound better in terms of just the music alone? Hopefully the narrator will be louder than the music. Is this narrator the same one in the Darkest Dungeon? I don't think so. No, he's I can't remember his name, but he's got a really distinct voice, doesn't he? Yeah, I can't remember his name now. That's better. We'll see how loud the narrator is. Okay, we will. Definitely. Twist of the wrist and a bit of trickery we haven't seen yet. We've seen No Sadder Story. We've seen Lost in the Woods. We've seen Smelly Affair. Did we do Three Eyes in the end last time? I can't remember if we made it that far. And Romantics of the High Road is a new one as well. You did Three Eyes. We did Three Eyes. Okay, so we'll do Twist of the Wrist and a bit of trickery and Romantics of the High Road then. Built it in or bar ASAP. We need the informant immediately. Aye, aye, Sir Lance. We shall do that. What? How much? That's a good point, actually. How much initiative do we even need for the inn? 12. Okay, so we need 12 initiatives so we can build the inn. Keeping count. No. Yeah, we hopefully we'll get an informer nice and quick, and we'll be able to see what these are. Yeah, missing an informer. Yeah, we'll be able to understand a bit more about what's going on. I think it's been, yeah, the game has been updated since we played, but it's changed. We've now got 4 health. Didn't we have 5 last time? Don't do Lost in the Woods. No, as the title says, I've developed a phobia of woods and ladders. We're staying away from them this run. Yeah, I think last time we started with 5 health. I could be wrong. 5 health and 5 defense. So they've lowered the amount of resources you start with. You think we had 4? Okay. Well, I mean, it's inconsequential, isn't it? Those are just numbers up there. Okay. Let's do Twist of the Wrist and the wrist and a bit of trickery.
Twist of the wrist and a bit of trickery. You travel back to the castle along a winding country road that snakes between rolling green hills and dense leafy forests. The main trade route, usually bustling with merchants and life, has been rendered impassable by recent rains, forcing your entourage to take a detour. The sun dips low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the path. Suddenly, up ahead, you spot a gathering of people. They've formed a circle, and laughter and applause echo from its center. As you approach, you see a magician clad in a long, hooded cloak, deftly juggling before pulling vibrant flowers out of thin air, as if by magic. Troy, son of Gishbar, at your service, he announces with a graceful bow, meeting your gaze. His voice brims with energy and an almost otherworldly charisma that makes you instinctively want to trust this peculiar fellow. You decide to stop and watch the performance. Your companions gather around you, forming a semicircle so you can enjoy the spectacle. Noticing you among the audience, Troy begins his act. First, he pulls a white dove from his empty sleeve. The bird soars skyward, drawing gasps of wonder from the crowd. Then he conjures coins from the air, expertly flipping them from hand to hand before they vanish as suddenly as they appeared. His movements are swift and precise, every gesture honed by years of practice. Enchanted by the magician's craft, you don't immediately realize that your small travel pouch containing your money has disappeared. It's only after the performance ends, as the crowd begins to disperse and you prepare to continue your journey, that you notice the loss. My coin pouch,
Motherfucker.
you mutter, glancing around. Your guards immediately begin searching for the suspicious magician, but the nimble wizard has already vanished into the crowd, leaving behind only the memory of his mesmerizing show.
He nicked our wallet, chat. He got away with our money. When encountering the assassin, call for help. Subtonian, what makes you assume there'll be an assassin after me? you presume a lot, sir. But you're probably right. Yeah, we will definitely call for help when the assassin comes. You think the second option? To hell with him. Well, we can't do much about that. Alert the city guard to hunt down the scoundrel. Yeah, we have to, because he might rob someone else as well. He might just run around doing whatever he wants. It's based on the last run. It's based on experience, is it? Okay. Have the detective track down the rogue. Okay, so you need a detective for that, obviously. Yeah, we'll have the guard to hunt him down.
Hundreds of soldiers spent an entire week fanning out the country roads and roadside taverns. No trace of the trickster was found, and in the eyes of the army, you now seem ridiculous.
No, that's a bad start, chat. We're ridiculous already. Gross, double -1, exactly. Bloody magician. I knew we couldn't trust him. When it was like, when it said you knew you could trust this man immediately, I was like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Can we, oh, thanks, Subtonium. Absolutely not. Can we trust this random scoundrel? He was obviously after something. Stupid avatar being a dum-dum. Right, Romantics of the High Road.
Romantics of the High Road. Between the dense ancient pines of the Verador forest, rarely traversed by man, lay two roads. The southwestern route, tenuously controlled by the garrison of Castle Keinhard, led to DeLong. The southeastern route, passing through fields and hamlets, remained defenseless against the bandits who had long claimed the forest as their own. These scoundrels preyed solely on merchants and tax collectors. Their raids were infrequent enough that no serious efforts had been made to eliminate them, but the harm they caused was becoming increasingly apparent. Finding them would not be easy. Even with the entire army mobilized, it would take months to comb through the hundreds of hectares of impassable forest. Local guards suspected that the peasants were protecting the bandits in exchange for small handouts. Perhaps a little pressure might loosen their tongues?
Of course finding them wouldn't be easy. We took our soldiers like an entire week to try and find that wizard in the city, and they couldn't find him. Let alone looking for bandits, like Robin Hood bandits, in the middle of the impassable forest. Okay. Decision. Send the elders of the nearest village to the dungeon of my castle for a meeting with the executioner. By the end of the week, we will know exactly where the bandits are camped. Okay, so that's basically torture all the... torture the nearest village elders. Jesus, okay. Order the army to scour the forest, and if they fail to find the bandits, burn the underbrush. We will smoke them out. Okay, forest fires. Probably not a good idea. Why should I worry about merchants? Let them hire reliable guards. My tax collectors can take other routes. That one seems like it's not a bad idea, but we'll definitely lose money, or basically an initiative if we do that one. And the final option, which we can't do because we don't have guardhouses, is it is fortunate I ordered the construction of guardhouses. Station 1 on the southeastern road. Yeah, we don't have them, so we can't. Yeah, none of these options are good, really. I don't like the idea of torturing the village elder for no reason. I don't like the idea of starting wildfires, so I guess we have to leave the merchants to hire their own guards, which is kind of like a common thing, isn't it? I mean, if you have bandits in your land, you obviously want to deal with them, but if you don't know where they are, then, yeah, there's not much you can do. People just have to be aware of it. You just have to spread awareness of the fact that there are bandits. Third or second? Let's go with third. I don't like the idea of starting fires. I'll probably end up catching myself on fire or getting trapped by the smoke or something and dying inanely again. So, yeah.
Merchants were far from thrilled at the prospect of hiring additional guards to protect their caravans. Many decided it was simpler not to trade with you at all than to take such risks.
Yeah.
As a result, tax revenues diminished significantly.
We're getting further and further away from that inn chat.
The butler's advice.
Okay, yeah, we know this one. This is just who do you want to meet first. Okay, so we had -1 for the army and -1 for the aristocracy. Last time we got assassinated because the aristocracy hated us. But I think we're going to try and up the army in this run. We'll get the army back to neutral. Yeah, I also want the bottle of wine. I'm thirsty.
In less than 15 minutes, the butler brings General Bardarian to you.
What was that? Nene.
Reliance on the army.
We have already heard this, so I will skip through the stuff we've already seen so we can get to the other, later parts of the game.
It is, of course, reassuring to have an ally like Bardarian. Yet you cannot shake the thought that your uncle Anzabald was coldly beheaded by the very general of his own army.
King's Royal Guard. Oh, actually, that might help with the assassin as well, because last time the assassin came for us, we didn't have the Royal Guard, so we didn't have it as an option. Now we do, so they might protect us.
Stingy and even stingier. In the early days of your reign, news arrived of the...
Oh yeah, we've done this one as well, haven't we? So this is the miser who didn't want to spread his gold anywhere. We could give this to the aristocracy, and that would balance out the aristocracy as well. If we distribute his wealth equally among the noble relatives, that will give us +1 with the aristocracy. But as an alternative, we could just take the treasure for the royal treasury. That would give us a load of initiative, which we'd then be able to use to buy the inn, build the inn. So it's a 50-50 for me. What do you reckon, guys? Get the aristocracy back to neutral, or get more money hoarded so we can build the inn? Aristocracy. It's probably better to avoid, or at least try and keep things neutral rather than rush to find out that we've got like a -4 with one of them and are about to get assassinated. Keep everything at least neutral? Yeah, I think you guys are right. Okay.
The new ruler is kind and just. Though your treasurer vehemently disagreed, the aristocracy warmly approved your decision.
Damn right. Game player, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. What game is this? This is called The Succession of Changing Kings. It is an early access kingdom management decision-making game. It's kind of similar to Yes, Your Grace. But you get like assassinated and stuff if you play badly.
If the stars are lit, you toss and turn restlessly in
Are
bed.
you guys being
The pillow is
Caesar?
far too soft, and
Well,
your
my
neck
avatar
quickly
is special
stiffens.
Caesar, but in this
My
run
first
we're
royal
playing as
decree should ban
just a
soft
monarch.
pillows, you think, rising
Okay,
from the
pause
bed.
that because I can't. We're playing as a monarch. It's not necessarily Caesar. Once on Caesar. Yes, luckily we got stabbed only once, but it was still enough to kill us. We tried deflecting it with a chamber pot, but failed miserably and died. It's not based on Caesar, but you can call yourself Caesar if you want, which I have because that's my avatar. I wonder how these people interpret this. Yay, we got an initiative.
Many witnessed the falling star tonight and saw it as a good omen for the start of the new king's reign. However, there were also those who believed this reign would be as brilliant and fleeting as the star's descent.
Yes, usually they are quite fleeting. Right, let's return. Okay, end the turn. We've got 8 initiative now. How much do we need again? 12. Okay, Trapped in the Snow is new. Curb Your Appetite is new. Matters of the Port is new. The Royal Hunt is new. And then these two are the same. So we've got 4 we can choose from that we haven't seen yet. The Royal Hunt is I, so that means... I can't remember what that is. But the last one we had, which was an I, was me getting lost in the woods. Matters of the Port and Curb Your Appetite are obviously peasants. Something to do with the peasants. And Trapped in the Snow is to do with the aristocracy. I think we should do the stuff we've already did to know them out. Oh, what, to like boost our stats because we know what the correct choice is? Not a new viewer, by the way. Oh, okay, no worries. Well, thank you for the support, mate. I appreciate it. Appetite, says Septonium. How about we do one of each? How about we do one that we've already done? Oh, you just changed your name. Okay, who were you before? I may recognize you. Sorry, you asked me to clarify right when I sneezed. That's bad timing. We do. How about we do one of each? We do one to give us an advantage. That one that we've already done. Sorry, to give us an advantage and give us as much resources as we can get, and then one that we haven't done to try and explore new content. Cool. So Seb wants to do Curb Your Appetite, so we'll do that one, and then the Harvest Festival we have to give them, don't we? Otherwise the peasants get all pissed off. So, oh, they're both peasants, so we'll do Curb Your Appetite and then Three Eyes.
Curb your appetite. For centuries, tradition dictated that taxes in the northeastern lands, stretching from the Satir Mountains to the Shadow Valley, were collected by the army stationed in Okor, a fortress perched on the border between your kingdom and the Duchy of Thorn. The residents of these lands, simple peasants and artisans, had grown accustomed to this arrangement. The army provided protection and in return collected annual taxes set by the king himself. But times have changed. After a series of weak monarchs with diminishing authority, the army began to take greater liberties. What was once an annual duty transformed into a quarterly burden. The people could not replenish their stores quickly enough and struggled to feed their families. Smoldering resentment erupted into open rebellion. The commoners united under the leadership of a former blacksmith named Gorman, a man of both strong hands and an even stronger will. "We will no longer feed their bloated bellies," Gorman proclaimed at a gathering in an old barn that served as the rebels' temporary headquarters. "Let them work the fields themselves if they want our bread. We will pay taxes only to the king, as it should be. No middlemen, no greedy collectors from Okor." Word of the rebellion spread swiftly across the northeastern lands and beyond. People defied the soldiers and even clashed with them directly. The army found itself in a precarious position, unwilling to use force against the people for fear of inciting a larger uprising. Gorman and his followers sent envoys to the royal court, demanding justice. Their appeal was straightforward: restore the old system and allow the commoners to pay taxes directly to the crown, bypassing the avaricious collectors in Okor. Upon hearing of the revolt, you grasped the gravity of the situation. This was not just about taxes, it was about authority. If you acquiesce to the commoners' demands today, they will learn that force can achieve their goals. And this will not sit well with the army, nor with many others.
Yeah, I think we have seen this one before, actually. Like Septonian says, I think we made them pay directly. This is a new option, isn't it? I don't think we had this as option last time. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, we've got four options. Let them pay directly. Why do I need middlemen? Traditions are sacred, but the army needs to be reined in. Taxes may only be collected once a year. The army is within its rights. Give the rebels a good flogging as a preventative measure. Or let us find a compromise. Why not hand tax collection to the church? That would probably give us +1 with the church, but -1 with the peasants and -1 with the army. I reckon the fourth one will. But that's probably the most neutral out of all the options. Let them pay directly. Why do I need middlemen? Didn't that cause -2 to aristocracy or something? First one's nice. First one is nice, says Lance 2, 3 or 4, says Septonium. Typical, my advisors can't agree, chat. No wonder I don't last a week. Go with 4? Yeah, I think 4, just to see what it does as well. I reckon that'll be the most neutral. It'll give us +1 on the church, and then... yeah. Okay, this game has you interested. Might buy it for myself. Awesome. Eventually. Well, that's good. I'm glad I can curb your appetite. No, whet your appetite. I'm glad you're interested in the game, basically is what I'm saying. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Thanks for joining. Let's try the compromise. Yeah.
Your decision shocked everyone.
Yeah.
What does the church have to do with this? What were you thinking?
Oh, God.
In the end, only the servants of Lumen appreciated your choice, and no one else did.
Yeah, I didn't think so. We got 3 initiative for it, though. We got 3 initiative, +1 on the church, and then -1, -1, -1 on everyone else. So that's not bad. Let me guess. The first icon to the right is peasants, second is army, third is aristocrats, and fourth is church. Absolutely. Well guessed. We can build the inn. The inn is 12. It's not quite. Yeah, so it's -1, -1, -1. Isn't the church +1 now, though? The church should be +1, Seb. Fudge. Yeah. It's cool. We'll do 3 eyes, and that's a church one. So we can... we've got +1 with the church now, so we can afford to piss them off a bit. So we'll do 3 eyes and see what...
3 eyes.
Yeah, I remember this. May the radiant lumen help them. Immediately set up tents along the main routes. Feed all comers and provide assistance as needed, and make sure they remember to praise the king. Dispatch 100 or 2 soldiers, maintain orders on the road. Misclick. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, -1, -1, -2, and +1. So the aristocrats are really pissed off with me already. Yeah, great start. This is the worst option. May the radiant lumen help them. That basically means you wash your hands of the situation. You don't do anything at all. Yeah, it pissed off everyone, I think, the first one. Yeah. Tents along the roads. This one is potentially good, but I don't like the last sentence. Make sure they remember to praise the king. That sounds bad. And then dispatching 100 or 200 soldiers. That means the army will get pissed off with me. Option 3, I think, would be best. Yeah, I think we go with 3. 3? Okay.
Your soldiers are always irked when used as glorified guards. Let us see how they react when true warfare calls. That said, they managed to prevent any major incidents.
Well, that's good. Okay, the maze to nowhere. Put the portrait back and seal the hole, right? We're not going to descend ourselves and search for valuables. The adventurers cost us money and they did absolutely nothing. They found nothing. So we're just going to put it back and seal the hole. But I bet you something bad will happen anyway. Jeez, it's like food, population, army, and bank all over again. There is a game I play that requires you to balance all 4 without insufficiency or oversufficiency. Yeah, exactly. It's a constant juggle. But the most important thing is being able to see what we've actually got. So we need the informer. Right, let's put the portrait back. Leave the secrets alone.
Leave the secrets alone.
There were no secrets. There's just a death trap. I think that's RNG, chat, to be honest. I think it's pure RNG if you find anything, if you go down the hole. Or if you
Silver lining.
or if you hire treasure hunters to go looking for it, it's RNG if they find anything, I believe. I could be wrong, but no results are good results. That's true, actually, yeah. Silver lining, we've seen this one as well. This is the one where the peasants found silver ore on the noble's land, and we have to decide who gets the ore or what happens with the ore and the peasants and stuff. And someone is always unhappy. Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult, very infrequent that you get everyone being happy when you make these kind of choices. We chose second last time. Yeah. But we're really up on the peasants at the moment. So I think peasants is +1 or 2. Army is like -2. Aristocracy is -2. And church is +1. Something like that. I think we do that one. Return all the extracted silver to Edward Melwood and vacate the land at once. Peasants is 0, is it? Oh, God. That's a terrible score. Beheaded people aren't complainers. That's true. They just make a mess everywhere. The lease is for 5 years. This will obviously go to the commoners, give commoners plus. I think at the moment we have to appease the aristocracy. If we get any lower on the aristocracy, they're going to send an assassin after us. So I think we return all the extracted silver to Edward E. Melwood and vacate the land at once. But that's my choice. That's my opinion. So good to have the viewers keeping tabs. Absolutely, it's really helpful, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we get. Yeah.
The aristocrat smiled smugly at the peasants and remarked that their troubles were only beginning.
Jeez.
To you, he offered a curt thank you before hurrying off to calculate his profits.
See, aristocrats are such fucking cunts. I don't like making them happy. I'd rather make the peasants happy than these stuffed up fucking tough-nosed dick bags. Okay, we're going to search without my involvement, I think, is what we did last time. Oh dear. Yeah, oh dear indeed. We're going to get assassinated in any minute, I can tell you. Let them search without the involvement, because we might get the iron again. Abandon it. Really? Lance wants to abandon it. Didn't we get a hunk of iron last time? Or a hunk of strange iron? But then the blacksmith died when he was inspecting it, didn't he? So, yeah, it kills the blacksmith. Yeah, but then we don't know what benefit it might have later. And then we have to seal it off? Yeah, exactly. It's like 4 side missions, says Subtonium. That's the thing, if we abandon it, we'll not get the content either. We'll miss out on all the content of finding out what happens with the blacksmith and then the hunk of iron, or, yeah, whatever that is, the metal it is. Wait a minute, I was unattentive and hadn't noticed, but you do not know which extent everyone is pissed or content. Not yet. First you have to build a building. You need an informer to be able to find out what they, how they feel about you. And in order to get an informer, you need to build an inn. So for that, you need 12 initiative. So we're trying to save up. But it keeps going down. I mean, it's easy to curb favour from aristocrats, and it's harder to please the population in the game I play. Is that right? I think in this it's neutral. It's all balanced. It just depends on the choice you make. I think we are going to do this because, like Septonian says, it's like 4 side missions, and I want to see what happens. Even if it kills the blacksmith, I don't mind finding. And I want to see what happens with the drunk blacksmith as well, because that's just fucking hilarious. That's bound to end in calamity. Search without my involvement.
The guards found a forester who witnessed the approximate site of the meteorite's fall. By the end of the week, you held a small fragment of cosmic iron, the rest likely destroyed upon impact, which was handed over to the blacksmith for examination.
Yeah, there's the inn. Although, if we spend it all, we won't have any initiative for next turn. And we might need initiative for something, so I want to wait until... Although, the sooner we build it, the better, right? If we build it now, then it might be ready sooner. This gives you +1 initiative each turn as well. How long does it take to build? Does it say? It'll probably take a couple of turns to build. Let's just build it. Let's just do it immediately. And then end the turn. We shouldn't buy it yet, says Subtonium. I know we should have waited until we have an excess, but there we go. We've got 6 initiative now, so we still have excess. 1 turn. Did it say somewhere without me noticing? I didn't see where it says. Burn? Burn what? Okay, so now we've got the tavern, the inn. We can go here and... Radwin, forgive me please, reprimanded his court jester. From now on, no more jokes from you. The jester replied, are you sure, sire? Do you really want to be the only clown in the castle? The miller was hungry. He bought a loaf of bread, ate it, but was still hungry. He bought 3 more rolls, ate them, and was still hungry. Then he bought a sweet bun and finally felt full. He sat there lamenting, what a fool I am, should have started with the bun. What? The miller was hungry. He bought a loaf of bread. Oh, it's disappeared too quickly. Gilbert the glutton hired a new captain of the guard. The king asked, how will you defend the castle during a siege? The captain replied, I'll lock the gates and put up a sign that says idiot inside, it might be contagious. This asshole's like fucking riffing on me, chat. Did something play tricks on me? I swear I saw something burning. Oh, quite possibly. The castle caught fire last time we were here. I think you're just seeing the torches. The torches along the road, the campfire there might have been what you saw. The blacksmith or whatever that is on fire. But no, the castle does catch on fire at times. We caught on fire last time. Oh, we can build fire brigade and that will stop the city burning next turn. They cost 18. Okay, that's something to consider. So this guy just tells jokes randomly. That's quite funny. And they were quite funny jokes as well. It just took a while for them to land for me. So how do I actually hire the informer now that we've got the inn? Like, maybe it's the King's Hall? Oh yeah, it's down here, isn't it? Yeah, informer. He's 10. Okay. So we need formal initiative, and then we can get the informer. Now that the inn is built. Okay, good. So what do we want to do? Trapped in the snow, royal hunt, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. We did the yo ho ho last time, I remember, because I was drawn to it because of the piracy thing. It's a really sad story, and it doesn't have a happy ending. Fill a brush bill, and what would General Bardarian do? What would General Bardarian do if he was here right now? He'd make a plan and he'd follow through. That's what General Bardarian would do. Yo-ho-ho is tough, absolutely. Royal hunt maybe well. I mean, some humours need some context for it to be funny. Yeah, and the thing is, he what's it called? He skipped or he changed to a new joke so quickly I couldn't read it again. So it was difficult. And because you're reading it, and not someone isn't telling the joke, you don't get like the grammatical pauses and the inflections and the way you do when someone's speaking to you rather than reading. So, hey, for all we know, that joke-telling bartender might be our spy. Yeah, could be. So, Royal Hunt and... what was the other one suggested? General Bardarian. Okay. Yeah, Yo-Ho-Ho will stay away from for the moment because it's tough. We'll do General Bardarian first and then we'll do the Royal Hunt.
What would General Bardarian do?
If he was here right now.
For the past week, General Bardarian had been absent from the ranks. Reports indicated that he was unwell. During a campaign, your seasoned commander drank water from a questionable well and was now suffering severe abdominal pain. Rumor has it that the purger, the infamous poisoner of wells, was responsible. Bardarian, a soldier of the old guard, rarely allowed himself even brief rest, but now he was bedridden. All army matters had fallen to other officers, and the responsibility for judging errant soldiers had fallen to you. Initially, you hoped this duty would be a mere formality. After all, discipline in Bardarian's command was strict, and violations were rare. But as fate would have it, just a few hours after you assumed this responsibility, the first case was brought before you. Standing before you in shackles was a young but sturdy guardian. He had been caught red-handed asleep at his post, and not just asleep, but drunk. This was a serious offense, and every soldier knew that even the thought of drinking while on guard was forbidden, let alone indulging in such reckless behavior. The soldier remained silent, his gaze fixed on the ground as the officer presented the case. Your thoughts swirled. What would General Bardarian do?
I say we sew his mouth closed so he can never drink again, chat. That sounds like a fair and even punishment. Execute the soldier to set an example. Jesus, I was joking. 1 or 2, says 2 of our advisors. Really? 2 of our royal advisors want to execute him immediately. 5 years in the dungeon with no chance of rehabilitation. Send him to distant outpost, perhaps the Satyr Mountains. He is young. Let us forgive his first mistake, but this must not happen again. That's really, we can't do the bottom one because, as it said in the dialogue, was it? Discipline was strict and violations were rare. So if we do this, then discipline will become much more unstrict, and I don't like the idea of doing that. Distant outpost maybe, 3rd for aristocracy. I think we do the 3rd one. That seems like the fairest. Like, I don't want to execute a soldier for being drunk. Yeah, we'll send him to a distant outpost.
Once Bardarian recovered from his agonizing illness, he almost relapsed, this time with a heart attack. There is no place in my army for such scoundrels, he fumed, berating you in front of the officers for a full hour.
Hey, let's not forget who's in charge here, motherfucker. Told you it's one. Yeah, you're right, but I didn't want to execute him. Like, I'll execute the general if he carries on with his lip, but I'm not executing a soldier just because he was drunk on his post. Right, the Royal Hunt.
The Royal Hunt. The morning was clear.
We're not doing
and
very
you
well, are we,
decided to
Seb?
embark on a hunt in the Great
Everything's
Arden Forest.
negative.
The Royal Hunt, meticulously prepared by the court falconer Torlo,
It's going
promised success.
really badly.
This time of year, the forest held noble stags and moose, and if luck was scarce, foxes and hares would certainly fall to your arrows. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and pine, while fallen leaves crunched pleasantly underfoot. Ancient oaks and hornbeams stretched their mighty trunks and crowns along the eastern trail and the Silvana River. You were joined by several skilled hunters, General Bardarian, Edgar Hunter, captain of the Reinhardt Guard, and Roderick Hansen, the commandant of Lucre Fortress. As your group ventured deeper into Briarian, jokes and tales gave way to the discussion of state matters. With his usual bluntness, General Bardarian remarked that Dam Dalaman was actively amassing troops. "They are pulling soldiers to the border," Bardarian said quietly, stopping his horse to peer intently into the forest. "The question is, what for?" Edgar Hunter snorted thoughtfully and added, "I think it is just another of the Violet Beast games. The Dalamans are very cautious and have not waged war in a long time." Roderick Hansen, whom you had not met personally before this hunt, nodded in agreement and opened his mouth to say something, when suddenly a massive bear burst out of the underbrush with a low growl. It moved swiftly and ferociously, heading straight for Bardarian, the outermost of your companions.
Yes,
The bear's
karma,
roar
eat
echoed through
him.
the forest, sending birds scattering from the trees. The general had no time to react properly. His horse reared and bolted, throwing him to the ground. In an instant, the bear was within striking distance. Thoughts raced through your mind. No one but you could reach the general in time to save him, and he likely could not defend himself after such a heavy fall.
No respect for your soon-to-be king. Why would one want to be one? You're absolutely right. It's also a matter of decorum as well. It's not just the fact that he was lippy to me. It's the fact that he did it in front of all the other generals. Like, he could have easily had a private word with me afterwards or something. So, yeah, this asshole, this is karma. Save him. Everyone's saying save him even if there's a chance of death. Yeah, I agree. Oh no, want a horror grabs popcorn. Yeah. We're going to try and save him, but I'm probably going to die here. Let's do it. Oh, chat, what have we done?
In the bear's embrace,
I can't
You rushed forward
mumble
without
something
thinking of the
unintelligible.
consequences.
Oh dear.
the beast was about to lunge at the fallen general, but you overcame your fear and drew your sword and shouted loudly, drawing the beast's attention. The bear turned around, its small, angry eyes staring at you.
This is
and
unbearable.
it
Oh,
lunged in
Lance,
your
get out of my
direction.
channel.
The world seemed to stop. The sword's blow only grazed the animal's side, enraging it even more. A powerful paw with claws like sharp daggers came at you. The blow was terrible. The sword flew out of your weakened hands, and a terrible pain cut through your side. Your trousers became wet in an instant, and not from blood. Your whole life seemed to flash before your eyes in one moment. You tried to rise, but the beast was quicker. Its heavy body pinned you to the ground. Your attempt to protect General Bardarian was heroic, but foolish. The last thing you heard were the screams of your companions and the roar of the beast, blended into one indistinguishable cacophony. The light was gone from your eyes and you left this world, leaving behind a kingdom that would now be in the hands of those who could hold it in such troubling times. History will remember you as the reckless king.
The reckless king? What about the noble, brave king who tried to save his dickhead of a general, despite arguing the fact with all his advisors as well? Chat, you didn't even get me killed. You made me piss myself in front of everyone. This is unforgivable. Oh my god. Well, yeah, don't mess with bears, chat.
Вспыхнули по всему королевству. Каждый регион стал очагом борьбы за
Is it
власть.
speaking Russian now?
Результатом вашего недолгого и бесславного правления
He's
стал
speaking
окончательный
Russian
распад
or
некогда
Slovakian or
могущественного
something.
государства. Аристократы увязли в междоусобицах, простолюдины поднимали восстание за восстанием, а армия окончательно утратила дисциплину. Плумениты, прежде служившие
Again, no
опорой
respect.
стабильности,
Yeah, absolutely.
лишились влияния на народ. Этой слабостью воспользовались соседние державы, вторгшись и поглотив остатки вашего королевства.
Somehow this is even more intimidating. Yeah, the bear killed us so hard we woke up as a Russian. It was a Russian bear. Apparently, yeah. Or a Siberian bear or Ukrainian or something. Anyway, let's restart. That was bad, chat. That went so badly. Oh my god, the bear is the narrator. Reminds me of the time I told you the person was outside and you opened the door, the zombies flooded in. Yeah, I know, my advisors are the worst. Forget the general, I should fire all my advisors. Okay. The harder the training, the harder the battle. That's a neutral one. Let's start with that one, yeah? Because that one, I remember, is nice and neutral. All you have to do is try and fight, and then even if you lose, everyone still respects you for it. My advisors in chat are giving me lip. Anyway, Harvest Festival, says Septonium. Okay, so we'll do, I reckon, this one and Harvest Festival. Still haven't recognized me. I don't want to say because you said it was a secret. So I don't want to say and give it away. But I think I know who you are. If I remember correctly. Oh, Lance goes and yeah, Lance goes and gives it away. Oh well. We're going to do the harder the training, the harder the battle, because I think that one's neutral.
The harder the training, the harder the battle. You accepted General Bardarian's invitation to attend the annual military drills near the fortress of Akor, located in the northeastern part of your kingdom.
Yeah, we've seen this. Okay.
An opportunity to witness
oh no, that double. Oh, you can increase the speed.
The fortress of Akor loomed atop a hill, its walls and garrison serving as the shield between your kingdom and the Duchy of Thorn.
That's cool. You can increase the speed if you want. Okay, let's pause it. We're not going to pass. No, we're not going to be. We're not going to embarrass ourselves in front of everyone by passing. We've not practiced in some time, but well, they say what is well learned is never forgotten. To the barrier.
It was not as bad as one might have thought. You deflected a series of powerful blows from your opponent quite well, but quickly found yourself out of breath. The lack of training took its toll. In the end, your opponent knelt suddenly and delivered a strong strike to your legs. You fell and decided that was enough. Tomorrow would already involve half a day spent in bed recovering from the blow. Yet no one shamed you for the fight. A king does not need to be the best warrior, but must never fear danger.
Unless it's danger from a bear, or a ladder, or the woods, or a chamber pot. Okay. Good, so you got +1. We started off with a positive, chat. At least soldiers respect you for trying. Absolutely, that's why I did that one, because as long as you give it a good go, then you get respect out of it, rather than everyone just giving you shit for just trying to do your job. Harvest Festival was the next one we wanted to do, right? Yeah. Okay, so this one, the last time we did... I can't remember which one we did. I think we did this. There's no time for merriment in the end, didn't we? Yeah, we chose This Is No Time for Merriment because we were trying to save up for the inn, and we didn't want to spend initiative on a feast. But we can... I think we need to do something else to get these guys in the positive before we start pissing everyone off. First one, the aristocracy won't really like it. For a celebration they'll remember for centuries. Potentially the aristocracy will be pissed off. Send a troop of buffoons instead. We will save on food and drink. I think we go with the first one. That one has the most potential of being just positive. Like if we do that one, then obviously the peasants, the commoners, will be happy. That'll be a +1 on the commoners. But as you said, there's a chance it'll be a -1 on the aristocracy. Second one will be liked by the soldiers. Possibly. But we've already got +1 with the soldiery, so I don't think we need that yet. Let's go with the celebration they'll remember for centuries. Yeah.
The villagers appreciated your generosity, and the festival was a resounding success.
Yeah, that's fine. They just cost us a bit of initiative, and it got them happy. So you got +1 so far. That's a good start, chat. Yeah, pause
The
that.
butler's advice.
And then if we choose the aristocracy or the church here, we will get +1 in either of those as well. So we'll be +1, +1, +1. Yeah, initiative is basically cash. As far as I can tell, it's basically your like monetary resource for building and training and in choices, it's basically when it costs you money to do stuff. Church, screams Septonium. Blimey, I didn't realise you were so religious. Because we know it. Yeah? Oh yeah, because it's a chess match, isn't it? 1 is definitely aristocracy create. Yeah. So 1 is aristocracy, 2 is the army, 3 is the church, 4 is the peasants, and 5, I'm not sure what 5 does. Probably gets you initiative, but pisses everyone off. We can win the chess game. Yeah, I think you're right, Seb. Let's do it. Let's win the chess game this time.
Within the hour, a man in a gray hood appears at your door. None other than the Holy Father Lumiel himself. Reliance on the church.
We've seen that already. May the light be with you. At first, Holy Father Lumiel's decision...
Holy Father Lumiel's decision seems strange to you. However, it is well known that public baths protect against disease far better than even the strongest prayer.
Hey, cool, he gave us the bathhouse. The castle's bathhouse isn't just for washing, it's a sanctuary for relaxation. A place where everyone, noble or commoner, can unwind. So that'll help build our initiative up. That's fine, that's good. Stingier and even stingier.
And even stingier.
Okay, so if we give it to the nobles, we'll be +1 across the board, right? Like we did last time, give it to the nobles and then we're just +1 on everyone. That's a pretty damn good start considering we were like -2 on everyone at this point last time. Yeah, I'm going to do the nobles because then everything's equal, +1.
The new ruler is kind and just. Though your treasurer vehemently disagreed, the aristocracy warmly approved your decision.
This is it, chat. This is the run. I can feel it. We're finally going to get coronated. +1 initiative. We're going to make it to the coronation this time. Okay. 9 initiative. Not quite enough to build the inn yet. So we got Trapped in the Snow is new. And then I think Matters of the Port is new. And then everything else we've seen, I believe. Let's Do Business is the one where we get... Why is there someone screaming on a Let's Do Business one? I'm split equally on this one, guys. Did Matters and Business? Exactly, yeah. We could try Lost in the Woods again, but I don't want to run the risk of dying when we're doing so well, not this early. So what about Inspection to Liquor? That's aristocracy. Didn't do Inspection because it disappeared and Trapped is new. Okay, so let's do those two then, because I think the others... I can't remember the others, to be honest. Like, what choices to make to win. Lost in the Woods we lost last time we died. Yeah. While it's safer to do something you're familiar with, it's good to take foot into the unknown. I agree entirely. Absolutely. I want to see as much new content as I can, so...
Inspection in Lucor.
Yeah.
You arrive in Lucor for an inspection, determined to personally assess the condition of its fortress and port. Situated in the Bay of Storms, Lucor is perhaps the only settlement that remained unscathed during the era of changing kings. Its bustling seaport welcomes dozens of ships daily from Dalaman, Kokeo, Torn, the 3 nations on the same continent as your own, as well as distant overseas lands. The fortress commander, Roderick Hansen, proudly guides you through the sturdy fortifications and the impeccably trained guard. His eyes shine with pride for his men and the mighty walls safeguarding this vital strategic point. Your Majesty, Roderick says, leading you across the fortress grounds, Lucor is always ready to face any threat. Our fortifications have been upgraded, and the guard trains daily to prepare for any attack.
What about attack by Russian bear? I hear they're vicious and dangerous.
The servants and soldiers work in perfect harmony, and the fortress exudes an air of discipline and order. Leisurely, you make your way to the docks, where building materials are being unloaded using wooden cranes. These towering mechanisms, resembling enormous wooden wheels with pulleys and ropes, hoist heavy cargo from ships to the shore. Suddenly, you notice one of the ropes snapping, threatening to send a stack of crates crashing down onto unsuspecting bystanders below. Time is of the essence.
Okay, it's got to be number 2, right, guys? We're not going to rush forward. We did that with the bear, and it ended badly. One will make your peasants not like you. One will end in death. I can tell you one is a death again. Yeah, the first one is death. We'll rush forward and trip or something and end up underneath the box and just get crushed. 3 will make peasants not like us, probably, because someone will have noticed that we've noticed. And with the fact that we didn't say anything, there'll be a bunch of death, and they'll be like, why didn't you say anything, you dick? So, number 2, as much as I want number 3, yeah, exactly, Lance, I agree. I'd quite like to do number 3 for, like, lols, but we'll do number 2.
You shout almost girlishly, but it has no effect. The rope snaps under the crate's weight, and it crashes down, killing several workers instantly. The port's operations halt for the entire day, resulting in financial losses.
That's not bad. Apart from screaming like a girl. And the scream didn't sound anything like a girl, but yeah, apart from sounding like a girl and embarrassing myself in front of everyone again, losing 1 initiative isn't bad. Well, for trying, no one will blame you. Yeah. Nothing was lost but a bit of money. Exactly, yeah. And then trapped in the snow. Oh, that's a nice picture, isn't it?
Snow. Of all the fortresses in your kingdom, you liked Acre the least. On one side, it was battered by the cold winds of the dark ocean, and on the other, it was hemmed in by the Satyr Mountains, perched in a narrow isthmus. Acre's massive gray walls and clumsy wooden barracks bristled against the world, a reminder of centuries spent defending the kingdom from the once mighty realm of Thorn, now reduced to a small and defenseless duchy. Yet despite the unrest currently brewing in Thorn, this was not the topic of your meeting with Bardarian. Acre was the domain of the army, just as Cherry Island belonged to the aristocracy and Argandor to the church. Today, Bardarian presented a plan for military reform. For the first 2 hours, you found his presentation engaging. The head of your army was far more animated than, say, Holy Father Lumiel or Countess Orvinchel. But as the endless numbers and statistics piled up, your eyelids grew heavy, and your yawns became so obvious that even the seasoned general could not fail to notice. The awkward moment was interrupted by a messenger bursting into the council chamber with urgent news. In the Satyr Mountains, at the Caridon Crossroads, a large caravan from Kokeo had become trapped in a snowstorm. Typically, merchants from this country transported their goods through Thorn, crossing the bridge over the chasm to Acre, or less often via routes near the Reinhard fortress. However, the unrest in Thorn and the bandits active in the forest near Reinhard had led them to choose what they believed was a safer path. Their wagons and carts carried valuable goods, sturdy armor for the army, spices and honey for the aristocracy, and unfinished jewelry intended for the church's religious trinkets. A decision was needed immediately. Without help, the caravan would likely freeze in the mountains.
Okay. So, decisions. Number 1, Bardarian, I trust you with the task of rescuing the merchants and their cargo. Do not let me down. Number 2, I will personally leave the rescue to these hapless traders, saddle me strong horses, and gather a company of brave souls. 3, I will not risk lives, let alone my own, for the following lack of foresight. Everyone's fearing the second. It smells of death. I agree. Jules, the wife, says, hi. Hello. How you doing? Thank you. Hello. How is Lady Lance? Hope she's well. You can spend the soldiers for everyone's happiness. I think we go with the first one. I don't think it's wise for a king to like ride out and try and find a fallen caravan or a lost caravan. That's exactly why we have fucking soldiers, right? Soldiers and army in general, like we have people to go out and do stuff like this for us. There's no reason to risk our lives going out personally. I think we go with the first one. I think that'll be -1 on the army, but if they succeed, then we'll get loads of resources, I think. Second option is literally you being reckless. Yeah, exactly. And we just died for being called General Caesar the Reckless. So we'll play it safe this time.
The general bowed and left to assemble his troops. Bardarian had previously mentioned that the army dislikes being used for tasks unrelated to war.
Fuck Bardarian. He can do what he's told or cut his balls off and make him eat them.
Likely because he was personally invested in ensuring the caravan's safe arrival. However, the mission was far from easy. Winter was already in full force in the mountains, and by the time the frostbitten troops arrived, the caravan's merchants were barely holding on. There were no fatalities, but the harsh conditions left dozens of soldiers with frostbitten hands and feet, rendering them unfit for battle.
That's not bad. That's fine. We got 3 initiative. Aristocracy went up by 1. Church went up by 1. Military went down by 1. And army or defense went down by 0.5. But I think that's good overall. It's quite a good net gain. If we can get 1 right now, we can build the inn. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way of getting 1 unless maybe we get 1 in the throne hall. Okay.
A maze to nowhere. You stumble upon a massive, cobweb-covered portal.
I want to try... I'm not going to try descending myself, because that will result in death, potentially. I am going to try gathering the group of adventurers, because I want to see if this is RNG. The army whines too much. I couldn't agree with you more. My general is a whiny little bitch. He thinks he can take his shit out on me whenever he wants, in front of everyone, and not have consequences. It's ridiculous. No wonder I keep dying. Everyone around me is an incompetent little whiny bitch. And I'm an incompetent dumbass. So, that's a really bad combination. Again, second one is person, idiotic person would do. We did that in our first choice game player. We chose option 2 immediately. I want to do this one just because I want to see if it's RNG. I want to see if it changes. No, okay.
Someone called Indiana.
Maybe it isn't RNG. Maybe it's just set.
Claimed to have been exploring
Ladders equal death. Absolutely.
Long before your majesty was even born. This time, however, they found nothing of value. Only spiders and bat droppings. Nevertheless, they charged as if they had discovered a diamond the size of a fist.
Fucking Indiana. Silver lining again.
Silver lining.
What did we do last time? Yeah, last time I gave it to the aristocracy, the aristocrat, and I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Okay, so we know that that treasure one is a red herring. There's nothing down in the corridors beneath the castle. Just seal it up immediately. It's just a waste of resources and a potential death, I think. Give them to the peasantry this time, says game player. What, this one? Or keep either 2 or 4, do you mean? Which one? I say we go with the top one. Because we're at positive at the moment, aren't we? So we can afford to lose one. And that will give us the money we need to build the inn. Or should we aim to make everyone super happy with us? Fine, says game player. Basically, the top one will be -1 aristocracy, -1 you'll probably lose 2, do you reckon? Okay, we'll do option 2 then. Option 2 seems the most fair out of all the options in terms of common sense. And like in generically speaking. So that'll probably give us a -1 on both, but... yeah, let's do the option 2. Okay, we'll do option 2. It's the safest? Yeah, okay.
Deep down, the common folk understood that keeping the mine was too good to be true. They accepted your decision with gratitude. The nobleman, however, was far from pleased. He had been robbed for months and was then forced to let the thieves leave with their loot.
Oh, fuck the nobleman. He's got plenty of money. Merely a piece of iron, search without my involvement. +1. Good. We still don't have enough. We need 2 more for the initiative for the inn. 2 -1, 2, 2. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, there we go. The castle's on fire. There you go. Someone set the castle on fire again, chat. We've got 15 initiative, though, so we're going to be able to build the inn, hopefully, at the end of the turn. Are you sure that's correct? Oh, what, the numbers? Yeah, this is why we need an informant, just because it's unfair on chat to have to keep track of it. So I'm trying to build the inn and get an informant as soon as possible. Twist to the wrist and a bit of trickery. That one's new, isn't it? Or did we do that one? I can't remember. Curb your appetite. Let's do business. Which one was Curb Your Appetite again? That was the I can't remember. They all kind of like blur into one after a while. Matters of the Port. Let's do what was that one again? I honestly don't remember. Oh dear, now my advisors are arguing about the numbers. No one has a clue, chat. No one knows. And the castle's on fire in the meantime. Everything's on fire. Sure. We can't do the smelly affair until we have the builders, the construction guild or whatever it's called. Let's do business.
Let's do business. With the last trading ship came news that smugglers had settled at the northern end of the Bay of Storms. Such rumors could not go ignored, and you, resolved to uncover the truth, set out with a large group of guards. The journey was long, but your determination and desire to address the situation carried you forward. After navigating through an endless series of coves, you arrived at the site by nightfall. Before you stretched a hidden world, shielded from the eyes of law-abiding citizens. A secluded cove surrounded by high cliffs served as the perfect refuge for the smugglers. Along the shoreline, torches blazed brightly, and dozens of people bustled about, their activities muffled by the sound of the waves. Your group went unnoticed at first, but once a sharp-eyed lookout raised the alarm, panic ensued. Some scrambled into boats, trying to get as far from the shore as possible, while others dived into the water. Meanwhile, two men raised their hands high in a gesture of peace and approached you. They introduced themselves as Ludon and Luc Fonchel, the leaders of this illicit enterprise. Their operation involves smuggling goods from Cacao and Dalaman to bypass the kingdom's customs. According to the brothers, desperation and harsh trade policies implemented by the previous Dauphin, Sigarus the Recluse, had driven them to this life. Sigarus had imposed high tariffs to replenish the treasury. Fonchel claimed that almost every resident of the northern Bay of Storms was involved in smuggling in some way, storing, transporting, or selling goods. Even the military, aristocracy, and peculiar red-robed cultists allegedly ordered exotic fruits through them. For the first time in years, locals were no longer living in abject poverty. The brothers offered any assistance you desired, as long as their lives and trade were spared.
Yeah, the law is the law, you'll all go to prison is quite an extreme response, because that's going to imprison half the friggin' population by the sounds of things. So we're going to do number 3 like Lance suggests, taking a cut. Deliver the agreed sum to Valinor monthly and continue your trade, because that will give us initiative as well.
The smugglers began sending you regular financial gratitude, but the aristocrats were less than forgiving.
Oh shit. We may gain 1 initiative every turn, but the aristocracy gets -1 every 4 turns to the aristocracy. Jeez. Then we're going to do... I can't remember twist of the wrist, a bit of trickery. So, oh, that's the motherfucking mage, isn't it? Who nicked our wallet. Let's get him, chat. Let's get him while we can.
Twist of the wrist and a bit of trickery. You travel back to the castle along a winding...
Oh, I forgot that you can't do the third option until you have the detective. Whoops. Oh well, to hell with him. We just lost a load of money. Haha, sorry. Okay, let's build the inn immediately. So we've got 2 initiative left. And now we go to the throne room. Okay, merely a piece of iron.
You enter the workshop just as the blacksmith...
So the blacksmith can't identify what the metal is and then ends up dying from it. Dying from interacting with it. So we're just going to lock the cosmic metal away somewhere it could be dangerous.
The strange cosmic metal, which may have caused the blacksmith's death, has been moved to one of Valandor's cellars. Who knows? Perhaps it will be of use one day.
Yeah, who knows? And we're on fire, chat.
We are on fire.
What? Oh, I
Loki
spent
in
the
middle of
initiative,
night,
so he can't help
just a
those
couple of hours
affected.
before dawn,
God damn it.
shouting, "Fire!
I knew I should have
Fire!"
waited.
Usually calm and stoic, Adrian. The Holloway's face was now overcome.
I thought we'd have enough initiative with 2 left to be able to do anything, but we don't, so we just have to leave people to burn.
Since no one expected anything from you, the people's attitude towards the reigning monarch remained unchanged. The charred ruins of the burnt houses, visible from the castle windows, served as a lingering reminder of the fire.
That's not bad at all, actually. Just losing 1 initiative isn't bad. That's not bad at all. Okay. This is the chess one. Right, so you're playing chess with the leader of the church, and you've got an option. You're in a prime position to attack. You can either attack now, you can either hold your position, which is what we did last time, or you can claim exhaustion and you can pussy out, basically. And I think we all think the correct answer is to attack now. So we're going to do that.
You scratch your head in bewilderment. Your grand plan unraveled by the third move. Holy Father's cornered pieces suddenly came alive with exceptional harmony, and now you find yourself on the defensive. The opponent's knights and queen, which had timidly lingered on the first and second ranks just a few moves ago, launched an unstoppable attack. Your Majesty, you played well but failed to decipher my plans. Understanding the enemy's strategy is the key to victory in this game. Sometimes one must yield and make concessions to lure the opponent into a trap.
Okay, so I can't remember if we got -1 or +1 from the church last time. I think it was -1. But if you go for the other option, he says sometimes you need to go to attack and be really aggressive. So it obviously tells you the opposite of whatever you do. The question is whether you lose a respect or if they gain a respect. Okay, so people from the get-go assume their king is a prick. Good to know. Well, it is the succession of changing kings. They've been through like 6 of them so far, so they're going to assume the next one's a dickhead as well. Okay, let's end the turn. The castle's no longer on fire. That's all that matters to me, chat. Right, let's go. Church likes me, that's good. I'd hate to end up in on top of a pyre. 3 eyes, we could get the church to like us even more potentially. A tinker on the road is new. Romantics of the high road, that's the bandits. We're going to stay away from that one because there's no good response. What would General Bardarian do? Should we do what would General Bardarian do and execute him this time? Get the informant. I missed 15 minutes of gameplay to check stats. Septonium, I appreciate it, mate. Don't worry about it so much, though. We'll fumble through it until we get the informer. It's all good. The worst case scenario, they get pissed off and send an assassin after us. So I think soldiers is 0. Guys, don't sweat it. You're sweating it way too much. I'm not worried at all. Let's bet soldier is 0. 3 eyes, says Lance. You want to do 3 eyes and get the church even higher? Whatever, I'm going to assume I'm right. Yeah, that's one way to play it. Let's do 3 eyes and what would General Bardarian do? So, yeah.
3 eyes. Parhelia, a rare phenomenon.
So the question is, do you want to do the dispatch again to get the military on the roads, or do you want to try the second option and see where it gets us, see what it nets us? I'd quite like to see what option 2 does. Yeah, military dislike 3, so that'll give us a negative on the military, which isn't good because we're already at negative, I believe, with the military. Try the second one just to see. Yeah, I think that one will probably end up just taking away from the church but giving us initiative, and the church loves us at the moment. Pick 1. No, 1's really bad. 1 makes everyone hate you. 1 is basically washing your hands of it and being like, I don't want anything to do with this. And everyone gets pissed off. You lose everything. Let's go with 2 and see what it gets us.
In their religious fervor,
Nice.
many left their homes without even packing a crust of bread. It is frightening to imagine what could have happened without your decision. Of course, luxuries were out of the question. but every pilgrim received a bowl of stew and a mug of clean water. It cost the treasury, but the benefits were clear.
That's a pretty good outcome. Again, it costs us a bit of initiative, but everyone gets happy from it. So we're less likely to get assassinated. And then what would General Bardarian do? If we do this one, guys, General Bardarian, we have to execute the soldier because we're already... The army already dislikes us by like -1 or 2. So we have to execute him. Are we happy to do that? It's a pretty strong reprimand. It's a pretty strong punishment. Pirates, chat. There'll be pirates in the waters. Someone take them out. We know where they are. Yeah, we need to get our military standing up. So I say we just execute him. The beating shall continue until morale improves. Now you're talking, Lance. That's my kind of ruling strategy style. Let's do this and execute him.
This is exactly what General Bardarian would have done. A soldier on duty is responsible for the safety of the entire kingdom. The offender can only wash away the army's shame with his blood.
Oh dear. Oh dear, so we lost one with the commoners, we gained one with the military. That's fine. Throne room awaits. Uh-oh.
Minor ailment.
Uh-oh, chat.
The morning was cold and windy when you began to feel a faint tickle in your throat. The air imbued with the scent of...
Guys, seriously, don't worry about it. We're not even going to make it that far. We're going to die from a cold.
Sticky. You, accustomed to the freshness of the morning dew in the royal park.
Okay.
Now felt
so you end up being ill and getting a fever. If we have a physician, we can summon the doctor, but we don't. If we have a herbalist, we can send for the herbalist, but we don't. So we have to try and get better on our own, which I think is RNG. So yeah, we're probably about to die from pooping too hard. Oh, we survived.
You recovered.
It says it with such surprise. Even the AI voice is like, my God, you recovered. What happened?
And bone-chilling cold. The first few nights, you woke drenched in a sticky, foul-smelling sweat.
Yep, so we survived. Time to get back to work. Oh, we lost 2 initiative again.
Losing the murder of the pawnbroker. In the western village of Padiak, an event occurred that chilled the blood of all who heard of it. A peasant
if you aren't, get ready for execution.
Says
Septonium.
Sought relief by borrowing money from the local moneylender. This decision proved fatal for 3 people. His creditor, Smerda Islid, known throughout the region as the Old Usurer, relentlessly pressured Rasko for weeks, leaving him with no hope of salvation. Smerda's sister, Anna, lived with her, a quiet and submissive woman, little more than a shadow of her domineering sibling. On a dark night, as if nature itself wished to conceal the madness about to unfold, Rasko gripped a heavy axe in his trembling hands. What occurred in Eyelid's home that night was described by the village elder with such detail that it left some women who heard it pale and faint. The following morning, Rasko, tormented and broken,
the narrator's a nemesis.
His confession was cold and
he sent that bear,
as if he were recounting someone else's tale. News of the double murder spread like wildfire across the kingdom. It seemed Rasko's
oh, we've
fate
got
was sealed,
1 extra health for some
a direct
reason now.
path to the gallows.
That's weird.
However, the jury, seeing him as a victim of circumstance and believing he was not of sound mind, sentenced Rasko to ecclesiastical penance in one of the distant Luminite monasteries. People whispered many had hated the old usurer, though they pitied the meek Anna. Among the aristocracy, a storm of outrage erupted. Smerda was part of their circle.
Smerda.
And such a lenient punishment cast doubt on the integrity of the court. Representatives of the nobility demanded true justice, warning that relations between the aristocracy and the crown might suffer greatly otherwise.
How the priest rehabilitated him, poor dude. That's probably worse than execution. I say we execute him to keep the aristocrats happy. Although I don't like keeping them happy, we have to. So basically this will make the aristocrats happy, but the church pissed off. This will make the church happy, but the aristocrats pissed off. And this will piss everyone off, probably. Apart from maybe the common folk. I say we execute him. I think 1's the best, but I think 2 is beneficial as well. Yeah, I think we just... go hard, lean hard into the execution at this page. At this point. Off with his head! The church is +3 at the moment. Yeah. So I think we just take his head and just get minus on the church.
People are disheartened by the king's decision. Does this mean the court's ruling?
Oh, it was -1 on the commoners.
However, the aristocracy is quietly celebrating their small victory.
They're such smug little dick bags. I hate the aristocracy. Fuck the aristocracy.
No
Oh,
good
this is
deed
new.
goes unpunished.
Chat, we made it to a new event.
Reports have reached you about a mysterious cult emerging in the Bay of Storms. Known as the Red Hoods, their actions stir both curiosity and concern. They distribute food to the needy, not just simple bread and vegetables, but often exotic fruits and rare delicacies that the common folk have never encountered before.
Guys, you're both saying the same thing
Informants
now.
say the Red Hoods demand nothing
You're both
in return,
agreeing and then arguing
refrain
that you're
from
not
any unlawful
agreeing.
activities, and behave with an almost unsettling level of politeness. The commoners are delighted, praising not only this enigmatic cult, but also you, the new king, whom they credit for allowing such generosity to flourish.
You never expect the
Yet behind
Inquisition.
this
Nobody
facade
does,
of
Lance.
kindness and
Nobody ever
altruism,
does.
There may be more at play. Perhaps it is only a matter of time before their true motives are revealed. Or perhaps not.
Perhaps not. So, we got 5 options this time. Blimey. So 1, let the people practice their charity. Leave them be. 2, do not intervene for now, but keep them under surveillance. I want to know more about this cult. 3, send the army and arrest everyone involved with this so-called cult. Only the word of Lumilai may echo in our lands and hearts. 4, send word to the church and have their emissaries investigate the Bay of Storms. After all, such matters are divine jurisdiction. Or option 5, bring one of these Red Hoods to me. Perhaps they can be of use. I like the sound of 5. Nothing in return sounds like drugs. It's shrooms, chat. They're dealing in the shrooms that we all consume on a regular basis. 4th, 2 will not like the church, not like it. 5 sounds interesting. Yeah, exactly. 4th, 2 people have said 4th, unless it's an assassin. Yeah, it could be. But we're just picking a random Red Hood. What are the odds of the random Red Hood that gets sent to him being an assassin? Meth. It's got to be meth. They're all on crystal meth. That's the answer. I'm up for 4 or 5, basically. Baldurian will just hate arresting the cult because it creeps him out. Yeah, potentially. He just hates following orders and doing stuff. Actually being useful, basically. Can you send a poll in chat? Do you know I have no idea how to, Lance? I think you have to go to a website, right? And then, like, link in, set up a poll and stuff. I won't do that this time. I'll look into how you do it in between streams, and then we'll know how to do it for next time. I think we'll just go with 5, because I want to see what it does. Perhaps they can be of use. Oh, God.
The church somehow learns of your plans to converse with these heretics.
Well, fuck the church.
Have you perhaps considered betraying the faith of your ancestors?
No, I want to get the information from them. Inside information to find out what they're doing. Oh, okay. This is
Stella
interesting.
Cadence. You see for the first time a hood, or Stella Cadence, as they call themselves. The figure in red sits serenely on a bench in the park near the castle, awaiting their meeting with you. She is softly humming a melodic tune, Stella Cadence, softly gleaming. In the night, your light is streaming, guiding hearts with gentle sway as you gracefully fade away. A star flew by, its fire gleaming, through night our hearts with hope redeeming. Guide us gently, like a spark, until your blaze fades in the dark. Seeing you, she stops singing and hurriedly rises. Beneath the hood, faint glimpses of fair curls and skin, the color of Keratin marble, are visible. An aristocrat, clearly. Your Majesty, what an honor! The girl suddenly kneels at your feet. What an honor to kneel before the precursor.
Damn right. At least someone in
Stammering
this kingdom
invisibly
knows their
anxious,
place.
She begins recounting how she and her brothers in faith witnessed the fall of that star.
Oh.
At the moment of its descent, they experienced the revelation, spoken with unmistakable reverence, as if capitalized. The future Stella Cadence claimed to have grasped some profound truth in that moment, donning red as a mark of their calling. Since then, they have wandered the lands, performing good deeds and spreading the revelation to those who were denied the chance to witness the celestial fall. They call you the precursor, the one who heralded this divine event. After all, you ascended to the throne on the very day Stella Cadence was born. Abruptly, she bows and announces she must leave, but assures you that you will meet again soon. Her sudden departure leaves you off balance, without a chance to ask her much of anything. And then it dawns on you that you did not even ask her name.
So these chicks are from The Handmaid's Tale, because they're all running around in red cloaks. Your decision. Number 1, they are a charming bunch, let them carry on as they are. She may have charmed us, though. She may have cast a spell on us and bewitched us with her charm to let them do what they want. The king is simped. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm worried about. Option 2, keep a close eye on them. Option 3, we need a doctor urgently. This is clearly an act of collective delusion. Yeah, that's possible. Or 4, declare them outlaws immediately. I think we keep an eye on them, yeah. That seems like the most rational thing to do in this situation. Oh, for God's sake, the church does not like us talking to people who aren't...
sense indecision. You cannot sit on 2 chairs at once. There can only be one religion in the kingdom.
Says who? What if I want a multi-religion kingdom? A multi-theologicalonian... I don't even know the word. Heresy, Scratch Lancer. Okay. We don't have enough initiative to buy the Informer, unfortunately, anymore, so it's end the turn. You lost all respect from one... all respect in one go from the church. Yeah, well, fuck the church. 10, we can finally build it, but we might need initiative for some of these, so... Curb your appetite. The Royal Hunt again, that's where the bear ate us. The Countess, the Boy, and the Black Pearl. Hey, cool, that sounds interesting. Murder on Gorm Street. Hey, cool, we're getting some cool ones now, guys. Looking for the Blacksmith and Filler Brushbill. Grab the Informant. I want to do the turn first, Lance, to make sure we have enough initiative to make all the decisions. If we do have enough initiative at the end of the turn, I'll buy the Informant then. Because it takes a turn to train, probably, anyway. Oh my god, you're trying to be rational and people still hate you. I know, it's a nightmare. And I'm the king as well. People should be doing what I fucking say and not questioning every decision I make. Otherwise, I'll just chop everyone's head off and be king of no one, for all I care. Pick the easy ones. We need peasants and church. Okay. I say we go for looking for the blacksmith, so we can replace the blacksmith, and we know how to do that one. And then all these others, we don't know what to do. Curb your appetite, we could do. That would get our commoners back up. God King Caesar. Please don't compare me to... is it Xerxes? Yeah. Xerxes from 300. I'm nothing like him. At least I like to hope I'm nothing like him. Am I not kind? Is that the line? What's the word? For I am kind? I can't remember what it is, but it's creepy as all hell. When he's putting his hands on King Leonidas' shoulders, and he's like, "For am I not merciful?" or something like that. It's so creepy. Do Xerxes cut hands of slaves? What, cut the hands off them? I don't know. Let's look for the blacksmith. You don't remember it. Love
Looking
it.
for the blacksmith.
Clean him up and bring him to the capital.
A week later, the heavily hungover blacksmith was settling into Valandor. You had a sinking feeling that this would not be the last of your troubles with him.
With him? Question. Forge. Okay, so we've got the forge now, guys. That's something. And then these ones, I can't remember. I think we go with Curb Your Appetite, but I can't remember which one, what the answer is. I can't remember what happens. But we need to get our commoners up again. So, let's try that.
Curb your appetite.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, this is the tax thing, isn't it? Okay. So we could rein in the army. That would probably give the commoners +1. Middleman. What, the top one, let them pay directly. That pisses off the aristocracy, doesn't it? So I'm all for that. I would happily piss off the aristocracy. to make everyone else happy. Xerxes highly values slaves. I doubt anything over lashing and whipping the punishment slaves get, unless they do really offensive crimes to deserve such punishment. Are you talking historically or from the movie 300? Because I don't know either, to be honest. I can't remember the movie well enough, and I don't know the history of Xerxes that well. Yeah, let's do that one, because that will piss off the aristocracy and give us commoners' reputation. Oh no, it's -2 with the military. Jesus.
For your fair decision, but the army predictably curses your name. Let us hope you are not planning any wars soon.
Jeez, chat. Okay, we've got 12 initiative now, so we should surely be able to build
a feast of feasts.
Or get the informer and find out finally what people think of us.
Adrian of Holloway, clad in his ever impeccable uniform, approached you with his characteristic dignity. Bowing slightly, he declared, "Your Majesty, it is time to consider holding a grand feast in the castle. Such an event would allow us to display hospitality and show respect to the nobility, the Luminites, and high-ranking military officials. These gatherings not only strengthen our ties with influential members of society, but also foster a sense of unity and loyalty toward you." Adrian paused briefly.
No worries, mate. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day at work tomorrow.
A feast, Your Majesty, is not merely an opportunity to fill bellies. It is a chance to demonstrate the strength and stability of your kingdom, to affirm your rule, and to secure the support of those who hold key roles in our society. In these uncertain times, such events are especially important to maintain peace and harmony within our realm. With those words, the butler bowed slightly once more, waiting for your decision, fully aware that his wise counsel would resonate with you.
Okay, so top 1, it is long overdue. Spare no expense, invite as many people as possible. Option 2, very well, but let us not overextend. Invite a dozen of the most influential figures among the church, the nobility, and the army. Option 3, let us call it a formal dinner. Invite 3 or 4 representatives, each from the clergy, the military, and the nobility. Or option 4, Adrian, now is certainly not the time for feast. Let us revisit this idea later. And you slap the butler in the face. I'd quite like to slap the butler in the face, to be honest, regardless of the choice we make. But I think we've got plenty of initiative. It's just the question is, did we want to build the informant? If we go for the top one, it's obviously going to be most of our initiative. It's going to be quite a lot. But it will give us positives on everyone. This might be an opportunity to give us loads of positives. I think we can afford it, says Lance. I agree. I think while we've got high initiative, the opportunity to enhance our reputation with everyone by like +2 is probably a good idea. So yeah, I think we're going to go with 1. We're going to spend the initiative. We can always get the initiative back next turn. -6 initiative, and that will give us +1 on each. Really?
Not thoughtless waste, but an investment in the future. At the feast, you met many fascinating individuals. For instance, the elderly Renar Gorvin, who owns the largest scriptoriums in the country, presented you with a fascinating collection of writings by the philosopher I. Valeronis. Meanwhile, the Luminite monk Petronius brought news from Thorn, where a struggle for the throne has begun. Currently, your distant relative, Tartagor, sits on the throne, dreaming of restoring Thorn's lost glory. The feast stretched on until dawn, and a heavily inebriated ruler of Valandor had to be carried to your chambers by the palace guard.
Tee, I got wasted, chat. Okay, so we lost 6 initiative, but we got +1 on everyone except the commoners, which is good. And we also got favourable relations, which is +1 initiative every 2 turns. So in 12 turns, if we live long enough, we'll get our initiative back and then some. It'll keep going as well. So I think that was a wise investment.
Faith can move mountains. You sit in the throne hall as the day slowly drifts toward its end.
Yeah,
The door
exactly,
creaks
Lance. It
open
pays
just as
itself
you
off.
nearly nod off on the throne, a situation you have found yourself in before. A Luminite priest stands at the threshold. With a gesture, you beckon him to approach. The monk is old and silver-haired. The few wisps left on his crown are as white as the first snow. Yet his face is almost devoid of wrinkles, smooth like a sheet of parchment. His voice is deep and steady, and he speaks clearly and deliberately. May the radiant Lumen protect you. Your Majesty, I am Father Luminario, steward of the church's affairs. The Holy Father Lumiel has sent me to you with an important matter. You motion for the monk to sit and explain himself. Under your predecessor, Magnus the Heretic, the aristocracy was granted a right that, for centuries, belonged solely to our church. I speak of crafting sacred jewelry, sun turners, sunstones, and the like. Today, such relics can be bought in any jeweler's shop across the kingdom, treated as mere trinkets instead of holy artifacts. This has inflicted significant financial damage on the church, and as a result, we now lack the resources to assist the needy or contribute to the royal treasury. In the past, our contributions to the crown were substantial. The reason I stand before you, rather than the Holy Father Lumiel himself, is delicate. Most of the kingdom's jewelry workshops are controlled by the Ivanshul family. The Holy Father does not wish you to think this is merely a matter of his strained relationship with Countess Eleanor.
3, I think. When you get more initiative in exchange of pissing off nobility a while ago. Yeah, I think so. If we hover over initiative, we can see. So the bathhouse gives us 1 every 3 turns. The inn gives us 1 every turn. And lost opportunity gives us +1 every 4 turns. And then on top of that, we now get +1 every 2 turns for the good relations. It's not shown there yet because we haven't ended our turn, I think. 1 is initiative. 2 is aristocracy. 3 is minus or negative for the church. Potentially, I haven't actually read them yet. Your decision, option 1. Do not forget to keep filling the royal treasury and consider this matter settled. Let Ivishen choke on it. Okay. Option 2. I know little of my predecessor's rule, but in this I must support him. Free trade is a sign of progress. Option 3. Why not find a compromise? Let anyone craft the sacred jewelry, but only the church may sell it. I'm not sure. This is quite confusing, to be honest. Lost opportunities is -1 for aristocracy. It is, you're right, yeah. So it's we can't see it at the moment because we don't have an informer, but it gives us +1 initiative, but -1 for the aristocracy reputation. Oh, there it is, yeah. We can see it. So even without the informant, we can see what our what are they called? Moderators are? Modifiers even? Even without the informer, we can see what the modifiers are on the... We just can't see the final number. Lost opportunities. Yeah, sorry, because you basically pissed the aristocracy for it. Yeah, absolutely. So we want to try and... We need to try and keep aristocracy relatively high because we're going to be bleeding relations with them every 4 turns. 3. This has kind of gone over my head, to be honest, guys. I don't really know what's going on here, so I'm going to trust you entirely. What do you guys reckon? Game player and Seb. 3 as well? Or did you reckon another one? I lost count of the turns that happened. Yeah, me too. There's so many things to keep track of. It's all good. 3, says game player. Okay. That's 2 out of 3. I'll take number 3, because like I said, this one went over my head a bit. I don't really know what's going on, in all honesty. I'm starting to get tired, chat. I might have to end the stream in a bit. Why not find a compromise? Let anyone craft the sacred jewelry and the church may sell it. Oh, chat!
Father Luminario states flatly that truth is like pure light. There can only be one truth, and your compromise is not it. With these words, he walks away, leaving you alone in the throne hall.
They're both going to assassinate me. They're all going to assassinate me. The assassins are going to have to fight each other to find out who gets to land the killing stab. It is going to be like Caesar all over again, where I get shanked to death in an alley. An incident at the border.
To the northwest lies the smallest fortress in your kingdom, Reinhard. Surrounded by wilderness, bordered by dense forests on one side, and the Satyr mountain range on the other, it holds strategic importance due to its position along the land route to Kokeo. While Kokian merchants typically prefer maritime transportation, they occasionally use this overland path to transport tea, spices, salt, art, metalworks, and food supplies, some of which are vital for provisioning soldiers stationed at the border. Despite this, reports of supply issues at the border outpost near Reinhard have been on the rise. The task of provisioning these border posts had been granted under concession to the aristocrat Simon the Fernariddle during the reign of Radwin Forgive Me Please. Recently, however, reports of delays in delivering food and essential goods have become more frequent. Soldiers are increasingly frustrated, questioning why dozens of wagons freely cross the border daily, while they are left to go hungry. The situation escalated when Captain Edgar Hunter, commander of the Reinhard garrison, learned that a supply caravan had crossed the border and was en route to deliver goods to the outposts. However, the caravan never arrived. Determined to uncover the truth, Captain Edgar dispatched his men to investigate. It was discovered that while the caravan had indeed crossed into your kingdom, it had been redirected by Simon Furs-Riddle's men to his private warehouses. Outraged, Captain Edgar confronted the aristocrat to demand an explanation. Simon the Riddle claimed that the goods were temporarily detained for inspection and sorting, but the captain suspected the aristocrat of flipping the goods for personal profit, whatever that might mean. Tensions reached their peak. The matter has now come to your attention, and a decision must be made urgently.
Oh dear. Yeah, Seb, so I believe it is days, like gameplay has said. Sorry, turns even, like gameplay has said. Because it says 1 every 4 turns. So every turn is like 4 days. Yeah, see, we're on turn 5. But every turn is 3 days then. Is that right? No, that's bad math. 4 days? How are we on day 8? I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's I think it's turns. Yikes, only one option. Yeah, absolutely. We don't have we don't have a high enough relationship with the aristocracy to do the top option, or a granary for the second option, so we just have to wash our hands of this and make everyone pissed off with us again. Oh god.
Although no open mutiny occurred, the soldiers' trust in the crown significantly deteriorated.
Oh god.
Moreover, some caravans began to be looted, with rumors suggesting the culprits were your own troops.
Yeah, maybe you need like +4 or 5, who knows. But now the military this is not going good. This is starting to turn, chat. Right, we don't have initiative again because we spent it all on the feast. I don't know, we'll have to find out. We really need that informer now. Right, we've got 13. Surely, with 13 we can build... I'm just going to do it, chat. We just need... Oops. What? Dr. Mayonnaise is looking for some indecent book with pictures of human insides. The whole kingdom's on the hunt for it. Interesting. Okay. I went to the wrong place. Let's just buy this fucking informer now, because he's 10 now. Why? He was 8 before. Whatever. Let's just hire him immediately. So next turn, we'll finally be able to see how people actually feel about us for realsies. Because the last turn is turn 4? I don't know. Okay. So, the well and the night pot, props for a theatre, villa brush bill, a smelly affair, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum, and the Countess, the boy, and the Black Pearl. Yeah, we've done smelly and yo-ho-ho, I agree. So, maybe we do, because these two are aristocracy. Props for a theatre and Countess for the boy are both aristocracy. Should we do one of those and then the well and the night pot, or Frilla brush bill? Again, the Frilla brush bill is an eye, so that means it's like a thing that you can die on, I reckon. That's like an event that you go to. It's like a personal event that you go to, and you might have the option of dying in it. You might have the chance of dying. So I think we avoid that one for the moment. So I'd say we do well in the night pot and the Countess, the boy, and the Black Pearl. Yo-ho-ho loses military and peasants. Does it? You agree? Okay, let's try this because it's got the Black Pearl in it. I want to see what that is.
The Countess, the boy, and the Black Pearl. Eleanor Avinchel rarely sought your assistance. Unlike the ever-demanding Holy Father Lumiel or General Bardarian, this made it all the more unusual to see her pacing nervously near the throne, her elegant figure a stark contrast to the austere stone walls of the castle. The Countess looked deeply troubled, yet the matter she presented might have drawn nothing more than laughter from anyone else. Once upon a time, Eleanor Avinchel had been renowned as the kingdom's most beautiful woman, but her otherwise enchanting face had been marred by a large mole on her forehead. In her youth, it had caused her great distress. Eventually, she adapted by wearing an array of ornate accessories to conceal what she considered a terrible flaw. Of course, she had not shared this story with you. Growing up amidst the aristocracy, you already knew it well. The Countess told you about a boy, around 11 or 12, who had been diving off Cherry Isle and miraculously discovered a black pearl. A true black pearl, an extraordinary rarity that could be fashioned into an exquisite ornament. According to the Countess, she had offered the boy an enormous sum for it, enough for him to live a life of ease and wealth without ever having to work again. However, the boy refused outright, saying he would never part with it. The Countess hinted to you that she would even be willing to settle the matter otherwise, and then to wash away her sins in the Church of Lumen.
Jeez.
But the boy's father was an officer from Lucor, the fortress on your kingdom's southeastern edge. Crossing a high-ranking military figure was not a risk she was willing to take. She had tried speaking with the father, but he stood firmly by his son's decision, even declaring he was proud of the boy for standing his ground.
Yeah, respect.
It was clear that, for Eleanor, this pearl represented something deeply personal. She was willing not only to contemplate crime, but to come to you, lowering herself to plead for help.
What do you mean lowering herself to come to me? I don't like her tone at all, or her attitude, or the fact that she's willing to murder the boy for the pearl. One is pissing off the soldier, but making the nobility happy? Yeah, fuck the nobility. Compensation must be provided. That means, well, that will piss them both off, but give us initiative. So if you speak to the officer will give you -1. And then because you're charging her for it, you'll get -1 on the aristocracy, but we'll get compensation. So we'll get money. We'll get initiative. 2 is really pissing off the officer. Cherry Isle is the land of Countess Uvishna. The boy will surrender the pearl without question. Should be grateful I did not have him flogged. Yeah, that's really going to piss off the... We can't afford that. Let me present you a hat, Countess, and leave the boy alone. Oh, we have to go for that, chat, just for the lols. We definitely have to go with that. Fuck the aristocracy. Or option 4, Countess, your selfishness nearly drove you to crime and wasted my precious time. Leave my presence and do not trouble me with such nonsense again. I'm up for option 3 or 4, quite frankly. Fuck the aristocracy. 3 sounds like fun. That will insult her. So we can insult her and send her away, or we can just tell her we can piss all over her intentions and send her away. 3 or 4 as well, says Seb. Yeah, let's go with 3. It sounds funny.
The Countess looked at you as though you were the lowest form of life and departed without another word.
Yeah, fuck you, you miserable bitch. Okay, and the well in the night pot. Uh-oh.
The well in the night pot. In recent weeks, a peculiar epidemic has swept through several parts of the kingdom. Far from well-traveled roads, in quaint villages nestled among green fields and dense forests, the inhabitants began to suffer from an unknown affliction. This mysterious illness was always preceded by the same tale. On moonlit nights, when the cold light bathed the earth and stars twinkled in the endless ocean of the sky, a hooded figure, like a specter from the darkness, would appear near the village wells. Night owls claimed to have seen this enigmatic stranger, their face obscured by the deep shadows of the hood, moving quickly and silently like a nocturnal predator. Witnesses unanimously stated that the figure poured something into the well water before vanishing as suddenly as they had appeared. To date, no one has managed to catch them. By morning, villages awoke to a growing horror. The people were plagued by relentless diarrhea. While no fatalities had been reported so far, the affliction was debilitating. This absurd calamity spread across the kingdom. Though not fatal, the illness robbed people of their strength, threatening to paralyze village life. Fields that should have been tilled and sown grew wild with weeds. Crops that could have filled granaries rotted unharvested. Exhausted and weakened, the villagers were unable to perform their usual tasks. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, fear once again gripped their hearts. The events unsettled not only the common folk, but also the nobility. Harvests, labor, and village life itself, the foundation of aristocratic wealth, were all at risk due to one elusive madman. This mysterious villain left behind not only pain and suffering, but also countless questions. Who is he? Why is he doing this? And how can he be stopped before he paralyzes the entire realm? But first, aid must be brought to those affected.
Okay, so our decision. Option 1 we can't do because we don't have a hospital. Option 2 we can't do because we don't have a herbalist. Option 3, I have heard that cleansing the body is actually healthy and they should be boiling their water anyway. So basically it's not giving a shit of everyone dying from this horrendous Punami situation. And then option 4 is the church must step up to help the people in this time of need. I hear the Luminites are decent healers. So this will obviously annoy the church, but make everyone else happy, I think. This will just piss everyone off and not do anything. So I think we go with option 4 just to annoy the church and make everyone else happy. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, -1 and +1.
Your good relations with the church ensure treatment for hundreds of the afflicted. Whatever they did to the sufferers remains a mystery, but soon enough everyone recovered. However, a number of temples now have an extremely unpleasant odor.
The peasants shout all over the temples. That's funny. That's funny, chat. Alright, throne room.
Incognito. You were accustomed to your butler, Adrian Ferner Holloway, not only efficiently managing all castle affairs, but also serving as an invaluable advisor. The very notion of him being just a hired servant seemed absurd. Usually Adrian would bring you a new blend of tea from Cocao during breakfast, while leisurely discussing the kingdom's current matters and sharing his opinions on various issues. Although you did not always agree with him, you understood his motives. One morning during such a breakfast, Adrian proposed something that, at first glance, seemed utterly absurd. Your Majesty, to better understand your kingdom, you should occasionally venture out of Valandor Incognito.
Oh, God.
Forgive my boldness, but in my 3 decades of service, I have realized that one cannot truly grasp a realm while isolated behind castle walls, as your predecessors did. But you, I believe, could be an exception. Initially, the idea struck you as foolish and reckless. However, after giving it some thought, you decided that such excursions might indeed be beneficial from time to time, provided all necessary precautions were taken. Dressed as a simple laborer, you set out for the village of Joiki.
Oh, that's such a
far
bad
from the royal
idea.
highway.
Who the fuck? He's trying to get us
Accompanying
killed,
you
chat.
discreetly,
Even the
as
advisor is
inconspicuously
fucking
as they
plotting
could
against
manage,
us.
were several disguised guards ready to intervene if needed. Upon entering the village, it was hard not to notice the commotion. Boys were darting from house to house, summoning the villagers. A few women wailed, while men armed with clubs and pitchforks made their way to the town square. Naturally, you followed. The source of the unrest became clear. Several peasants had been detained by soldiers for allegedly failing to pay their autumn taxes. A stout elder and the assembled villagers were visibly angry, claiming that their neighbors had already paid everything due and that the tax collector had vanished with the money. You approached the soldiers, concealing your true identity, and began questioning them about the situation. One soldier, clearly rattled by the growing tension, snapped back rudely, "Get lost, peasant scum. This is none of your business. Keep out of it if you do not want trouble." Your first impulse was to teach the scoundrel a lesson, but you managed to keep your composure. The situation was diffused by the captain of the guard, who explained that the detainees were held by court order. The tax collector had submitted records to the treasury indicating that the detained villagers were delinquent. To support his claim, the captain produced a piece of paper adorned with elaborate flourishes and the royal court seal.
Right. So you've only got 3 options here. We've got 1, put on your crown and declare kneel before your sovereign, randomly out of nowhere. Option 3, calm the peasants and promise to resolve the matter. Option 5, flee in fear. Oh, God. Second one would be the best. We need the informer. We're just missing it. With 1 turn away, chat. That's so annoying. Let informant gather information about similar cases. It seems my tax collectors may not be entirely honest. Option 4, we need a good relationship with the army. Calm the soldiers and ensure them that you'll handle the situation personally. We're not going to do option 1. That's going to go piss poorly. If we just randomly pull out a crown and be like, I'm your king. They're probably just going to beat me to death and be like, where did you get that from? 3 is to calm the peasants and promotes to resolve the matter, but it's doing it without declaring the fact that you're king. So it might not work. There's no authority behind it. I think we just flee in fear, chat. I'm worried we're going to die again here. I reckon there's going to be like a fucking riot or something, and I'm going to get trampled to death. I'm going to get stampeded or some shit. This is entirely a shot in the dark. All 3 options seem pretty poor. And it's a complete shot in the dark, chat. What do we reckon? This is where the, what's it called would be useful, that I'm going to look up in between streams. It'll be helpful I can remember what it was. A poll, that's the word. This is where the poll would be useful. Just flee, no one will know you're a king unless the butler is a snitch. Exactly, yeah, I think fleeing in fear is the best option because no one knows who you are at this moment, so it won't cost us anything, but then we won't gain anything either. If we do something here and it helps people out, we'll gain positives with like the army, with the common folk, etc. If we flee in fear, I reckon that's just basically opting out of this choice, which is probably the safest option for us when we don't know the outcomes of the other 2. And the whole point of this excursion was to like learn more about our kingdom and the way it operates and stuff. So if we flee in fear, we're not getting anything at all out of it. But we keep our life. We stay alive. And the run's going fairly okay. We're just about to get the informer. I think we're going to flee, chat. It's annoying that this didn't happen 1 turn earlier. 1 turn later, sorry. But yeah, we're going to flee. We're going to get out of here.
The moment you bolted,
yeah.
The peasants attacked the soldiers to free their neighbors.
Yeah.
Blood was spilled. Of course, no one besides your guards knew you were present at this tragic event and had fled cowardly. But if 2 people know a secret, it is no longer a secret. Both the common folk and the army's perception of you worsened.
Damn. Okay, so they did find out that I was me, and I think if we'd done anything else, we would have been caught up in this. The riot, and we probably would have died. So even though this looks bad, the guard's a snitch. Yeah, have him decapitated. Off with his head. Yeah, even though this looks really bad, I think the fact that we've come away with our life is a really big positive.
The priest of Tenebris. The priest of Tenebris, Heresiarch Severian, was an enigmatic and sinister figure. As a boy, the very thought of his existence seemed incomprehensible. After all, Tenebris, the antithesis of Lumen, the Lord of Darkness and Shadows, was said to despise humankind. His domain was the night, when light fades and a shroud of darkness envelops the world. Some whispered that Tenebris was Lumen's brother, though the canonical tenets of Luminism painted him as the embodiment of evil, the eternal foe of the light. How then could a king allow the open existence of such a blasphemous individual? Yet in the kingdom, the Church of Tenebris was not outlawed. More accurately, it was officially tolerated. Upon ascending to the throne, you were entrusted with a secret by Saint Father Lumiel. The Church of Tenebris, it turned out, was entirely under the control of the Luminites and Saint Father Lumiel himself. Its creation served a singular purpose, to provide the populace with a tangible manifestation of evil. The sect of Tenebris consisted of no more than 200 or 300 members, many of whom were undercover Luminites, ensuring the dark sect remained firmly in check. Those who joined out of a genuine devotion to darkness often disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Today, Father Lumiel proposes deploying this trump card. Heresiarch Severian, the priest of Tenebris, would publicly align himself with the Red Hood cult, which had been growing in influence across the kingdom. For this scheme to succeed, however, royal backing would be essential. Organizing joint events, public gatherings, and even rituals could convince the people that the Red Hoods were nothing more than followers of Tenebris.
Okay, so we can option 1, provide open support, organize public speeches by Heresiarch Severin in towns and villages, put up posters and hire actors for performances. Option 2, provide covert support, let them arrange an underground meetings, ban a few events for the sake of appearance and stir up some scandals for good measure, or refuse. This is mean. I'm not sure. It's a bit weird. I know. I think helping Tenebris, the priest of Tenebris, Hiersarch, what's his face, Severin, is helping the Red Cloaks. It's all about the Red Cloak, the Red Hood cult that we talked to earlier. Basically, I think they're trying to undermine the church. I think they're trying to take over religion of the church. And they're asking me for their support because we met with the Red Cloak earlier. The Red Hood. So helping Tenebris, or the priest of Tenebris, is not helping the church. It's doing the opposite. Are we gonna go for a Red Hood rebellion, chat? Not rebellion. What's the word? A coup, a Red Hood coup of the church, or are we gonna try and back the church? But it worded that the church is founded by the priest Lumi something, did it? Tenebris, the antithesis of Lumen. It's the antithesis. He's the antithesis, so he's the opposite of Lumen, the Lord of Darkness and Shadows. We're said to despise humankind. No, wait, antithesis means not the opposite, sorry. Antithesis means the exact... is like the... no, that's epitome. What does antithesis mean? I need to look that up. But if I click off this, it will disappear. The game will close. Oh well, if the game closes, it closes. Antithesis. Yeah, personal thing that is the direct opposite. I was right the first time. So antithesis means it's the opposite. So Tenebris is the opposite of Lumen. He is the Lord of Darkness and Shadows, and he is said to despise humankind. His domain was the night. When the light fades and the shroud of darkness envelops the world. Some whispered that Tenebris was Lumen's brother, though the canonical tenets of Luminism painted him as the embodiment of evil, the eternal foe of the light. How then could a king allow the open existence of such a blasphemous individual? Yet in the kingdom the Church of Tenebris was not outlawed. More accurately, it was officially tolerated. Upon ascending to the throne, you were entrusted with a secret by Saint Father Lumiel. The Church of Tenebris, as it turned out, was entirely under the control of the Luminites and Saint Father Lumiel himself. Its creation served a singular purpose, to provide the populace with a tangible manifestation of evil. So it's basically the red cloaks are saying that the church is evil and that they've been corrupted by the Lord of Darkness kind of thing. So that's what you misunderstood. Yeah, I think so. So basically we can either back the church, who have been corrupted by evil, according to this, and who are providing the populace with a tangible manifestation of evil, or we can back the Red Cloaks. I think we do covert support, guys. Option 2. Yeah, I was about to say that, Lance. It's a bit of a confusing one. It's quite a difficult one, but I think we do covert support for the moment. The moment's not right for us to just openly, brazenly support these guys, but we can support them in the background if we want to do a coup on the church. So I think we go option 2.
At first, your covert support caused irritation and misunderstanding from the Holy Father, but he eventually acknowledged the plan's success. Everyone, from the humblest cobbler to the highest noble,
it's like the Foxtrot perk,
was
yeah,
somehow tied to the cult of Tenebris. The appealing rhetoric of the Red Hoods became less attractive, as fewer people wished to associate themselves with such a group.
I'm a bit confused by that. I'm not sure which. One of the groups is like the epitome of evil, basically, but I'm not sure which group is which.
Locust Plague. It came as night itself arrives, spreading its dark mantle across fields and meadows. At first, they were just tiny spots on the horizon, barely visible, like distant flickers
Balance is the name
stars.
of the game, exactly,
But
Lance.
soon
Yeah,
these
you got to
spots
keep
grew,
juggling everyone
swelled,
evenly.
and suddenly a dark cloud loomed overhead, deafening and endless. They descended on the peasants like sudden summer hail, each beat of their wings akin to a lightning strike. Grass that had been green and lush just yesterday now lay dead, yellowed, and scorched. Trees once proud and mighty stood bare, as if stripped of their armor. The wind, which had once carried the scent of flowers and fresh rivers, now brought only the rustle of countless wings and the stench of devastation. Amid this terror and chaos stood some who remained silent, watching the destruction with bitter resignation. The village elders, seasoned by life's trials, knew that the locusts would come and go, as all calamities do. But their departure would leave scars that neither rain nor time could erase. Hope rested on the shoulders of the new king, but would he come to their aid?
Would he come to their aid, chat? Do we go to their aid? So you've got three options. Option 1, dispatch wagons of seeds and provisions to the village immediately along with a dozen soldiers to maintain order. So that will obviously cost us money, initiative, and get our reputation with the army down lower, because they hate doing stuff that isn't combat oriented. Option 2, we need a higher relationship with the church, so we can't do that. Option 3, this is a great tragedy. I express my deepest condolences. So that's doing nothing, basically. That will probably give us -1 with the common folk. Option 4 we can't do because you need a better relationship with the army. And option 5 is the aristocracy must immediately raise funds to fully compensate the peasants for their losses. So that will piss off the aristocracy, but it will give the peasants like +1. Aren't we quite high with the peasants at the moment? We're like +3 with peasants, aren't we? With the common folk. 5 is pissing really the aristocracy off. Yeah, exactly. I think we just ignore it because we've got pretty good relations with the common folk as it is. So if we just say this is a great tragedy, I express my deepest condolences, we'll just lose 1 or 2 with the common folk, but not piss anyone else off. And we can't afford to piss anyone else off, whereas we can afford to let the common folk be a bit unhappy with us. So let's go with that. Yeah.
Of course, the people had long since stopped expecting anything good from their king.
Oi!
But your indifference condemned many families to starvation and destitution. They will not forget this.
Oh dear. What the
A
fuck?
glimpse into the world of thieves.
Isn't that our butler?
The morning got off to a rocky start. You were woken half an hour earlier than expected by Court Falconer Torlo, who had planned to accompany you on a walk through the hunting grounds. However, the pleasant stroll through the cool autumn forest was replaced with urgency. Torlo was delivering a letter from the Holy Father Lumiel. Now, in the letter, Lumiel warned you that one of the main relics of Luminism, the Apogelean solstice, was at risk of being stolen. The Holy Seat's extensive network of informants had received reports that a master thief from Kokeo had taken on the task of stealing it. There is no safer place than Lagatha, save perhaps the royal castle of Valendor, Lumiel concluded in his letter. A mere 2 hours later, your guards escorted a monk to your chambers. The monk was carrying the Apogelean solstice itself, a symbol of unparalleled spiritual significance. It became clear that Holy Father Lumiel had left you little choice in the matter, or had he?
Okay, so it's not our butler, it's just a random priest bringing this holy trinket. So our decision, option 1, what makes the Holy Father think I would agree to this? My castle is not a bank or a vault. Guard your relic yourselves. We're probably not going to go for that. Option 2, immediately place the Apollogian solstice in the castle vault and assign double security. That's going to piss off the military. Option 3, leave it with me. I will personally ensure the relic's safety. Okay, so that will please everyone, but then that means that's putting our life in danger. So we either piss off the church, greatly piss off the church by telling them to go fuck themselves. Piss off the military by telling them to guard the treasure. Third is pretty much get you poisoned. Yeah. We're pretty much going to die if we take the third one, the third option. So I guess we piss off the church or the military. But we're at 0, we're at -1 with the military, aren't we? And we're at 0 with the church. But I reckon this will give us like -2 or -3 with the church, because this is really important to them. So I think we just put it in the vault and tell our guards to tell our soldiers to guard it, because that will just give us -1 with them, and they'll be at -2. Yeah, I think we go with that one. That's the most neutral response out of all of them. That or option 3. I don't want to put our lives in danger. What makes us think we're capable of guarding it? Like, we can't even climb down a ladder, for fuck's sake, without dying. Well, how are we going to take on a fucking master thief if he comes into our bedroom and looks for it? We're going to do the middle one.
The clergyman
we didn't lose
bows deeply
anything.
to you and hurriedly begins drafting a letter to the Holy Father.
Oh, we didn't lose anything for that. Okay. Oh, you've been robbed.
We have been robbed.
Jesus, that didn't last
The
long.
famed treasury of Valendor did not last even a day. Early the next morning, your flustered steward burst into your chambers, his voice trembling as he reported that the legendary Apogelian solstice had vanished.
Jesus, didn't even last
He
24
didn't forbid
hours.
anyone from leaving the castle, ensuring that, for now, the outside world remained unaware of the theft. However, it was only a matter of time before the church learned of the disaster.
So we're going to piss off the church anyway because we didn't succeed in guarding it. I reckon, though, if we'd chosen the third option, then that night, like, immediately, instead of getting this event, we would have had a defend your life event kind of thing. So I think we chose the best option out of all of them, but geez. Okay, decision. Option 1, drink more wine. Option 2, panic and run in circles. Option 3, inform Father Lumiel about the theft. Yeah, it's option 3. That's the honest one, like Septonian says.
You refused to panic or hide and instead wrote a letter to the Holy Father Lumiel, honestly explaining the situation and bracing for his righteous fury. His reply arrived promptly. Of course, the Holy Father was extremely displeased and made it clear that the event would cause a cooling in relations between the church and the crown. But at the same time, he noted that he realized that part of the responsibility lay with him for such an irresponsible choice of the custodian of the relic.
Hey, who are you calling irresponsible? Motherfucker. Oh my god, this keeps on going. I just want the informer so I can see who I like and
The
dislike.
comforting embrace of slumber was abruptly broken by a loud noise from
Oh my
the
god, there's a
balcony.
Disney princess
Not
here,
fully
chat.
awake and struggling to make sense of the situation, you recklessly rushed toward the sound. You must have been quite the sight as the woman standing on your balcony allowed herself a broad smile, followed by a barely stifled laugh. Lost your way, milady? You rasped, your voice still heavy with sleep. There was curiosity, intrigue, and a hint of fear in your tone. Oh, not at all. I have arrived precisely where I intended, she said with a theatrical pause before continuing. Allow me to introduce myself, Your Majesty. Elestra of House Valerion. There was a faint note of irony in the way she addressed you as Your Majesty. Bathed in moonlight, Elestra appeared to be of average height, her dark hair curling like smoke rising from an autumn bonfire. Her green eyes sparkled in the dim light, giving her the aura of a cat, or perhaps a witch.
Witch!
Though what business a cat or witch might have on a king's balcony at night was beyond you. An assassin, however, was not so far-fetched a thought. Before your suspicions could escalate, the woman quickly dispelled them. Elestra explained that she had been sent by House Valerion, a guild of sorts that handled delicate matters. According to her, their services were employed by high-ranking individuals on both sides of the Sylvana and even beyond. Her visit was not without purpose. House Valerion had learned that a traveling thief had stolen the Apogelian solstice mere hours ago, right from under Holy Father Lumiel's nose.
Oh.
She was also well aware of how this incident might strain your relations with the church. Your Majesty, we wish to offer you a favor. And what would
Interesting.
that entail, you asked? We will retrieve the Apogelian solstice for you, and your relations with the church will be restored.
Restored to 0.
I assume there's something you want in return? Alestra's smile widened, disarmingly charming. A favor for a favor. When we ask for something once, in the future, you will grant it. No questions, no refusals. Do we have a deal, Your Majesty?
Oh, this is just stinks. This stinks. This absolutely reeks, chat. I don't trust it at all. So, firstly, it'll only restore our relations with the church, which means it'll go back to 0 from fucking -1. And secondly, the favor could be anything in the future. So they could ask something that's way bigger than what they've done for us. So, yeah, they could ask for anything. Yeah, exactly what Septonium's saying. I think we're fine. She might be a red cloak. I thought she was coming in to seduce me or something. I was about to push the harlot over the balcony. I was about to be like all fucking kung fu ninja panda warrior and like kick her in the face. Away from me, filthy strumpet. But luckily I didn't do that. But we're going to decline the deal. We're fine, but also what, Septonium? This could also be a minor favor, so maybe worth it. I don't know. It won't be a minor favor. If you, let's be honest, if you've got a king in a position where they owe you a favor, no questions asked, no refusals, you're not going to make it a minor favor, are you? You're going to take advantage of that in full. So we're going to decline the deal.
In the morning, you were absorbed in the affairs of state, and the rendezvous of the night had slipped your mind. However, something was telling you that you would see more of Alestra.
Yeah, we're going to see more of her later. Definitely, she's going to show up. Oh, God.
Attacked by a fanatic.
We're not even going to make it to the informer chat. We've been attacked by a
Argandor
fucking
always
fanatic.
amazed you with its scale and atmosphere. So different from Valandor. There were no fortress walls here to guard against external threats. Instead, an endless maze of old, narrow streets crisscrossed the ancient city like the wrinkles on an elder's face. 5 majestic temples of Lumen rose above the rooftops, their spires touching the heavens, as people flocked to them like moths to the light of truth. Chief among them stood the Grand Temple of Lagotha, a destination for pilgrims from every corner of the world. Yet despite the grandeur of its temples, Argandor greeted you with an undercurrent of tension. It was subtle, but the city's inhabitants were not pleased by your presence. The deeply devout residents seemed conflicted about you as their king. When your procession passed, townsfolk hastily retreated into the shadows of narrow alleyways, avoiding direct eye contact. Perhaps this was a reflection of your strained relations with the church. It might be time to address this matter. The warm welcomes you were accustomed to in Valandor were nowhere to be found here. Silence and cold stares spoke louder than the most eloquent troupe of minstrels. This morning, as you wandered through the ancient streets of Argandor with your retinue, you turned into Monastery Lane, a passage so narrow that even 2 people struggled to walk side by side. One of the old doors to your right suddenly swung open, and a Lumenite monk calmly stepped out, carrying a long staff. What happened next unfolded too quickly. A man in gray lifted the staff above his head and swung it, clearly intending to deliver a devastating blow straight to your head.
Motherfuckers. The church have sent an assassin for us now. We don't have any option. We can either rush forward or dodge. Dodge or rush forward? Can we not dodge and rush forward? We should maybe have taken the deal. Well, hindsight is 2020, Seb. So yeah, if we'd taken the deal, we might not have been attacked by a fanatic. But who knows? We may have been attacked by someone else from like the army or an aristocrat. We can't dodge? We can't dodge, says Septonian, just as game players like, dodge! It's a small passageway. So what, you reckon we rush forward and try and like mitigate the attack, mitigate the damage of the attack by like charging him and taking him out? I don't know, didn't we try that with the chamber pot last time? There won't be space, I would guess. Yeah, maybe. This is a 50-50 for me, chat. I've got no idea what the right answer is. I'm not even sure there is a right answer. It might just be RNG again. Second one, says game player. So we're going to rush forward. We're going to charge the monk. He's only an old monk, right? With a stick. We can take an old monk with a stick. Surely. We've defeated... Oh, no, we've defeated. We've got experience from fighting a bear. We fought the soldier. Second, says Lance. It's probably better to dodge, but... Seb, now you're just covering all bases, mate. Rushing forward is also good. Unhelpful. Very unhelpful, sir. Okay, we're going to rush forward. I really think dodging is the best, though. Damn it, guys. It sounds like you're all 50-50 as well. Someone flip a coin. Does anyone have a coin on them? I don't have my wallet near me. Because long staff. It did say long staff, right? Carrying a long staff. Yeah. I like the... There might be a hint. It says carrying a long staff. So if you rush toward him, then his swing might kind of miss you, and it'll hit you with his arm, kind of thing. What is heads? I guess heads will be dodged, tails will be rushed forward. So heads is top option. Heads is 1. Tails is 2. Okay, cheers, mate. I should probably get that installed as well. Didn't I say that last stream? I'd get a coin flipper installed. I keep forgetting stuff like this. To be fair, I've had a really busy week, so I wouldn't have had time to do it even if I remembered it. It's heads, so we're dodging. Okay, let's try the dodge. Oh dear, we died.
Worse than dead. The devastating blow delivered by the enraged fanatic struck you squarely on the head.
What happened to my
Your
dodge?
crown flew off, rolling treacherously to the side. The force of the blow cracked your skull. Though you did not die, your mind was lost forever. From that moment on, you began to soil yourself, make animalistic noises, and any glimmer of intelligence in your once wise eyes vanished entirely.
We didn't even die, chat.
Naturally, such a person could no longer rule a nation. You were sent to a remote monastery where you spent your days assisting the monks with menial labor. Your ultimate fate remains unknown. History remembers you as the unhinged king.
The unhinged king. All we can do is drool and grunt. Are we going to get Russian chat again now? Mumble, mumble.
Conflicts erupted across the kingdom.
Yeah.
With every region becoming a hotbed of power
Yeah,
struggles.
we died again, guys. We should have rushed forward. But there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that if we'd rushed forward, it might have just done the same thing. We could have tripped over and hit our head on a stone, for all we know. That is indeed the end, guys. I'm going to leave things there for now. I've been going for a good couple of hours. I'm really enjoying this game. It is tough as hell. It is really hard. You don't have... we made it to like turn 7 and we still didn't have the Informer. So we still didn't know what for definite, what the numbers were at the top. I know you guys were keeping track of it, but there was some discussion in chat about what numbers were what. So it's really hard to like not only juggle everyone and make sure everyone's happy with you, but try and remember all the numbers and remember everything that's going on. It's difficult. It's slightly BS. Yeah, it is a little, but that's the whole point of the game. It's meant to be a really hard Iron Man kind of strategy game. Oh, it was Theodore Mariano, of course. Why did you change your name then, out of curiosity? If you don't mind if you don't mind explaining. You don't have to, just curious. And why was it a secret? Anyway, I'm really enjoying this. It is really tough. It's ball-bustingly hard, but I really like the wackiness and the funny stories and stuff that happens. You're drunk. Okay, fair enough. Respect. Well, I'll see you on the next stream. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I hugely appreciate it. I really enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. I really appreciate all the engagement. Thank you for keeping track of all the numbers, guys. And, yeah, helping out with the coin flips and stuff like that. And just the general engagement and input. Helping out with the decisions and stuff is obviously the huge part of this gameplay. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. And I had a lot of fun. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm not working now for a few days. So I'm going to be back with a couple of live streams tomorrow. As well as a new episode of Mordheim for people who are watching that in the mornings. So, yeah, guys, hopefully I'll see all of you there for that. If not, I'll try and catch you in some other content I produce. I try and make content every single day now. So, I'll wait till next time.